Welcome to the Main Character Podcast. I am your host, Brandon Hamblin, main character of my own story. But this podcast isn't about me. It's about you, and all of you. Every person that has ever lived on this planet, all 8 billion people here now, all that came before us, and all that will come hereafter are the main characters in their own story. My aim is to interview people that embody living in their energy and discovering from their perspective what their perception of reality is like. Buckle up. You're about to experience the world through another main character's eyes. What I love about this with you, Lindsey, is we met at Dr. Renee's and we talked for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I don't know anything about Lindsey. So this is awesome because this whole episode's going to be discovery for me.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've heard, especially from Mike, he's like, yeah, sometimes you don't react like you're surprised by something somebody says. And I go, well, yeah, because I've heard it before and I try, but I will genuinely be surprised by anything and everything that Lindsey says today.
Yeah, because you don't know me.
I don't know you, which is great. So let's figure out what makes you the main character in your story. We can start at any point. Do you want to do your upbringing? Do you want to tell us who you are today? And then we'll fill in the blanks. If somebody just met you for the first time, how would you say, hey, this is me?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Where do most people start?
Let's start at the beginning. Where did you grow up?
Post Falls.
Oh, so you're a local.
Yeah.
Cool. How much does everybody moving in drive you crazy?
Close the borders.
Close.
Except I do live in Washington, like Liberty Lake.
Oh.
But I'm, about 2 miles from state line.
Yeah.
I love my house.
We need the border to shift.
Yes, a little bit.
How do we?
I would say we could even just Cascades.
Yeah.
That'd
be perfect.
We could.
Yep.
Send
They
them
can keep
off
everything
to
west of the
see-
Cascades.
Yeah.
We'll take everything east, which means we get all the farmland and everything,
Yeah,
so they
we get
can
all
starve.
the good stuff.
Yeah,
we
we
get
get
all
all
the good
we get
stuff.
all the good stuff.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
But if they wanted to move it, closer to Spokane, like pretty much Liberty Lake.
Well, and I think of
Spokane could
Liberty
go.
Lake, and I've said this before. I think of Liberty Lake as Idaho because it still has the good vibe. Yeah, you've got all the laws and everything that are Washington's. Have you noticed that they put in those stupid speed traps on the freeway? Like just as you're coming east of the main exit in Liberty Lake with the Safeway and everything, they have those speed cameras on the freeway
They
for some.
do?
Yeah,
Whew.
and they're just tests. They're just going to mail you, which I'm surprised I haven't gotten one in the mail yet. If you're going over, because at some point they're going to actually use them and implement them, and you will get tickets.
Right.
Like catch all
I'm
the
so
Idaho
screwed.
drivers. Me too.
So screwed. I might
Yeah.
as well just add it to the bottom line budget.
Just know that you're going to have some tickets and your insurance is going up.
Ugh.
So of all the places, so you grew up in Post Falls.
Post
Why
Falls.
are you in Liberty Lake?
Okay, so after, we went to elementary school in Post Falls, and
Okay,
then
yep.
After 6th grade, my parents didn't want us in public school, so
Smart.
we went to St. Mary's Catholic School in the Valley
Yeah.
for like middle school, and then from there Gonzaga Prep. So
Oh.
living in Post Falls and getting to Gonzaga Prep every
Is a
day.
heck of a drive.
Yeah, and we had to ride the bus,
Oh, you did?
and I was just like, ugh,
Yeah.
so uncool,
Yeah.
uncool.
Yeah. Not cool.
So
And that's got to be, 45 minutes, an hour of bus time?
well, yeah, and then we had to ride the city bus. So
Oh.
we get it on it in Liberty Lake.
Yeah.
My sister drove us, and because I couldn't drive yet, then ride the bus all the way downtown to Ghettoville. Change.
Was it still Ghettoville? Has it always been
It's
Ghettoville?
gotten way more ghetto.
Yeah, it's really
Like,
Ghettoville now.
I say that downtown Spokane is like downtown Seattle when I moved over to the Seattle area.
Oh.
So, give it 20 years.
And we're going to be real ghetto.
for
Okay.
Overrun.
All right. That's gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so as a teenager, they're dropping you off down there and
Yeah.
take a prep.
And where the bus ran like the transfer area is
that Riverside?
Yeah.
It's
kind of ghetto.
Do you go to Cochinito's in Hayden? Have you been there?
Cochinito's, what's that?
Delicious. It's a taqueria, but they have a location downtown Spokane. They have 2 locations.
Okay.
And it's right by the transfer center, transfer station. That's the word. And yeah, when I'm eating there, you just look out the window. It's like going to Walmart, right? Like it's the people watching. It's what's that guy on? Oh, yeah, it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's not pleasant.
Yeah. Cochinito's.
Yeah, you got to go.
I'm going to have to try this.
It's delicious.
I like Mexican food, but only liked Mexican food starting a few years back.
Oh, really?
Hated it before.
Why?
I don't know. Now I don't know.
Well, so I used to hate like avocados. Gross.
Yeah.
Squishy, the texture, the taste, the everything else. Yeah. And then I hung out with a bunch of Latinos and they were like, well, sometimes you got to eat avocado because you can't afford meat. Like, okay, I'll give it a go. And I went from hating it to loving it. So what's the switch? I don't know.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I think just growing a little older and, you just try new things and you're like, oh, wow.
Do you generally have a good experimental palate, or do you have your foods that you like and you're like, oh, the rest of this stuff?
I focus on nutrition, like healthy, but making it taste good.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So I don't eat a lot of processed foods or junk.
No fast food.
Mm-mm.
Have you always been that way?
No. No, as a child, my dad traveled a lot.
Yeah.
And my mom took my sister and I out to eat almost every night he traveled. And it was usually McDonald's.
Yeah.
And like back in the day when it was supersize. And so I was well on my way to being obese.
Really?
Like sophomore in high school. Yeah. I mean, you look at yourself every day in the mirror and, I don't know, but we had the Mother's Day tea and pictures taken of my mom and my sister and myself. And my mom's she's always been overweight.
Okay.
My sister was. Anyway, I looked at myself in that and I was like,
Nope,
not doing this. So like from that moment forward, I started working out, spending hours in the gym, and
yeah,
I had to teach myself over the course of my adult life how to feed myself like healthy foods.
Well, it doesn't help that our system is not set up to support that. Right. And I don't know how old you are, and I'm not going to ask. I think I'm too much of a gentleman to do that. But
I'm 44.
Oh, you're 44.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have assumed much younger than that.
I like to say I'm in my 30s.
Yeah. But I think that does mean you're millennial. Or are you Gen X?
I'm Gen X, 1980.
Oh, you're like right on the cusp. Yeah. You're right there.
Right.
Okay. But I take it, after you had the food pyramid?
Oh, yes. Yeah. And my dad will still lecture me on the food pyramid.
Your dad's
You have no idea.
No idea. For me, there was the DARE program. Did you have the?
Oh yeah, I won.
Mean, that was Nancy Reagan.
Won the DARE. I forget what it was called.
Like the essay thing that you have to write.
Yes, and
me too.
You won.
Yeah.
I forget what my reward was.
I think I got like a stuffed one of the lion, the mascot
a bunch of
thing.
Promotional product.
Yeah, and stickers.
Garbage.
And who knows?
I thought was cool at the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But all the propaganda, right? Like all this stuff. And I remember thinking, the FDA wouldn't the government wants what's best for us.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And then I did the same. Did you say sophomore years when?
Sophomore year in high school, yeah.
That was me too. Where I'm looking at myself and I'm like, I was 230. I was way overweight.
Oh, yeah.
And then I stopped drinking a 6-pack of Mountain Dew a day. Mm-hmm. And I started working out.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm down 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And I've never looked back.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if you hadn't stopped that? You'd probably be riddled with disease.
Yeah.
And or dead.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
or just like living horribly.
Well, I still feel like for me, there was this long process of, okay, so now I know how to lose weight and I should stay away from this stuff. But I'm going to have some Bertolli's frozen dinner and I'm going to have some Bisquick. And then it was still this transition of, okay, wait, let's get rid of processed foods. Oh, even if it's not processed, it could be full of GMO crap. And pesticides and let's go organic, non-GMO. Okay, well, that still doesn't always work in the US. Like, there's kind of this baby steps of.
Yeah.
Were you pretty good at what was your journey like?
I mean, so I really figured it out in just the last few months.
Oh, really?
Like I was, just kind of gradually from like through my whole adult life.
Yeah.
Learning more and more, but I'd still eat bread.
Well, yeah.
Or, refined carbs.
Right.
Sugar. Like not too much, but the idea that everything in moderation is okay is actually not true.
Right.
Not true.
I know. Can I still use it to justify my red wine though?
Oh, I drink alcohol.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It's like, okay, so here's where this really came from. 2 days before Thanksgiving, this last Thanksgiving, I found out I had breast cancer. I do not have it anymore.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah.
Geez, I'm terrified and then.
Nope, we're good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Okay, so what's that like? Like,
well,
tell me more.
So, and I'm surprised Mike didn't tell you, but maybe.
Yeah, he was leaving it for this. See, that shocks him. He's going to be like, see, and that's why I don't tell you anything, because then you get to be shocked on camera.
Shocker, yeah.
Yeah.
So at first, when the doctor called me, I was like, I need you to check to make sure you're calling the right person. Like, because I, before that day, had been living, pretty darn healthy. Like, I didn't even really drink alcohol, like maybe once or twice a year, a few drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Up until I was 40.
Good. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I didn't go through my raging 20s.
You didn't do the party thing?
I didn't drink before I was legally able to. I've never smoked anything.
Wow. That's really good.
Pretty healthy. And then, just my food intake changed. Eventually was like never fast food, no sugary, like just throughout life.
Right.
Became pretty clean, working out, doing all the things. And then this. So I was like, I need you to check.
Yeah.
Like,
that doesn't add up. You shouldn't
right
have
person.
cancer.
No.
Although we have a ton of environmental factors, right? Like car exhaust and what's in our water. And there's a lot that you can't control for.
Yeah. So within a week, okay, backing up a little bit more. So found out I had breast cancer. My oldest son, he just turned 16 actually yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He came home one day from school and was like telling me this kid, Luke Freddykind, gave him a ride home from school. And I was like, Luke Freddykind, you know who that is? He's like, no. Anyway, Luke Freddykind is the son of my old bestie. Like we were in each other's weddings.
Oh, yeah.
And about 12 years ago, she ghosted me. And I emailed her, called her. Anyway, I don't know. Like I spent years like, I wonder what I did, and kind of, but knowing I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened? I don't know. So eventually, just completely forgot all about it. 12 years go by. And then, my son ends up knowing her son. And like when my oldest was younger, we would hang out at their house. So I was like, you and Luke took a bath together one time.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyway, then I told my boys about the breast cancer.
Yeah. How did they take that?
I went the day I found out, the first thing I did was went to the gym.
You're so awesome.
And was just like, I didn't cry. I just was like, the instructor, the combat instructor that I took class from that day, she's a radiologist, or no, she's an ultrasound tech.
Yeah. And
she does breast imaging. So I was like, she's actually the first person I told. And I was, she was like, it's okay. Like I'm sure you caught it early. Like you're a badass. You're going to be fine. Like, and I did kind of break down a little bit with her. 'Cause I was like, this is a lot. This is a lot.
Yeah. Well, and
And-
did you, with that initial call from the doctor, was it your stage this?
No,
This is
they
what-
didn't really
just
know.
you have
'cause-
it.
Yeah.
And we'll need to run more tests.
Right. Yeah.
And have you dealt with any cancer, like not, whether you
No.
or anybody else in your family, this is the first hit?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've never had any health issues, like super healthy.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Sorry. Didn't mean
parents
that.
healthy, even though my mom, but self-induced, like
Right.
she's been heavy all of her life. I mean, your body can just only take so much of that.
Right. Exactly.
And then you're going to have health problems.
Yep. That's how it works.
Yeah. So I, gathered myself and decided I was going to tell my boys when they got home from school. So my oldest comes home an hour before his younger brother. So I actually, my youngest, they were doing half days because it was the week of Thanksgiving and there were parent teacher conferences. So he was coming home early.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
youngest was. So I was like, well, I don't want to tell my youngest without my oldest
Right.
because even though they fight like they want to kill each other, I was like, I know they will need each other.
Yeah.
Like my youngest will need my oldest.
Right. And your oldest just turned 16. How old is your youngest?
He's 11.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So at the time he was 10
Yeah.
because he turned 11 in February. But
Cool.
so I went and picked my oldest up from school. I texted him and I was like, I'm coming to get you early today. They knew I'd had a biopsy.
Okay.
So, and I was like, I'm going to be fine. Like, I mean, when they saw it on ultrasound, the doctor was like, I'm less than 10% worried. Like, let's do a biopsy, but I'm so not worried.
Right.
So I was like, sure, fine.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Well,
So
and
then-
was that just like you noticed a lump and hey, let's get this
No.
checked out? You
No.
didn't even know.
I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
I didn't, feel the lump, nothing. Like I
They just caught
did
it during
a
an exam.
routine ultrasound.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So, and then the biopsy doctor was like, I've done thousands of these. Your tissue looks totally normal. I expect this to come back benign. You're going to, don't worry about it. So I didn't. I was like, had the
So that
biopsy.
call was really a shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, just stunned.
Yeah.
And I asked her, because panic kind of begins to set in.
Yeah. Well, because do you do a
Mhm.
worst case scenario thing where you
Oh,
like,
yeah. I asked her, I was like, am I going to die?
yeah,
And she's like, well, I don't know.
which is always comforting. Thanks.
Like, I'll show you.
Oh, no.
So yeah, that was, and then I just got ready for combat and went to combat and then, got my oldest from school early. He could tell when he got in the car.
Oh, no.
He's like, Mom, are you okay? Do you have breast cancer? And I was like, I just said yes. And then burst into tears,
Oh,
driving
no.
him home. And he's just like, I love you, Mom. Like he was strong, but also he was like, what the fuck? I don't know what
Yeah.
to think.
Right.
Everyone's like, it's scary. No one knows what to think.
Right.
Because, and I'll get into it, but they really, like the medical the institution, whatever we want to call it,
Right.
they want you scared.
Oh, yeah.
They want you scared.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, and there's so much money to be made there. The whole system sucks between Western medicine, insurance, like all of it. It's not good.
it's horrible.
And then when most people hear the word cancer, whether you've dealt with it in some, familial way or not, it's still a scary term,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it
Mhm.
is easy to go to, oh my gosh, am I going to die? Oh my gosh, what does this mean? Oh my gosh, is this chemo, radiation? What like, oh.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like it's the same as, I don't think our media really doesn't help either.
Yeah.
My favorite is watching, it's not my favorite, but whenever a woman comes on a TV show or a movie where they're giving birth and you're like, okay, you just transitioned in about 2 seconds. You're screaming your head off. Like, this isn't actually how this goes. But now everybody thinks that's exactly how birth goes.
Yeah.
Portrayals of cancer and everything else, same thing, right?
yeah.
They have to condense it down into shock value
Yeah.
And so that's what our exposure is. And then when we have to deal with it, it's, oh my gosh, this is always bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Mm-hmm.
what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you burst into tears right after you tell him,
Yep.
and he's comforting you
Mm-hmm.
on the way home. And then
Yep.
how did your youngest take it?
He was
Oh,
devastated.
no.
Like basically got home. He was devastated.
Yeah.
He asked me, "Mom, are you going to die?" And I'm like, "No." Of course, I didn't even know.
Right. But now you have to comfort them.
Yeah, and I'm like, "No, I'm going to be fine."
Yeah.
Like,
and that is the right attitude to take into it anyways.
oh, I developed that attitude like
I get the sense that you're not a pushover,
No.
Lindsey. No, you fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So from there, Owen told my oldest is Owen.
Yep.
He told a few of his friends, just I think seeking comfort and
Right.
for himself. And one of them was Luke Fredekind. And so then his mom, Nikki, my former bestie,
That ghosted you.
that ghosted me, texts me like the night before Thanksgiving. So I'd only found out on Tuesday. The night before is Wednesday. Hey, I'm the nurse for Dr. Moline, who's supposedly one of the leading breast surgeons in our country, and she's in Spokane. So I want to help you.
That's amazing.
And then she's like, I know I ghosted you.
Oh, she owned it.
I want to explain.
Yeah.
And I just was like, okay, well, this is meant to be. Like, she's back in my life. And I just responded. I was like, okay, well, thank you for your help. And of course, I'm completely operating in a state of fear.
Well, yeah, of course.
Because I still don't know, what I know now. And I just told her, I was like, I'm ready to listen to whatever you have to say with open heart and open arms and no judgment. Whatever happened, let me know.
Yeah.
So then so it was, we go through, and also like when you find out you have breast cancer, and I hate using the word diagnosed at this point. Like I did in the beginning,
Yeah.
but it's too dramatic.
Yeah.
When you find out you have breast cancer.
Yeah.
They test the, they test the biopsy sample.
Yep.
And find out like there's a bunch of factors. So
Right.
my HER2 was negative, which was good. And so that result, like she accessed my files and let me know that on Thanksgiving Day.
Wow.
Like, because I was like, on Wednesday, I had talked to a nurse coordinator for a different breast surgeon because Nikki hadn't contacted me yet, so I didn't know about Dr. Moline.
Right.
So a different breast surgeon in Spokane, and this nurse coordinator was supposed to call. She called and she's like, I'm just here to support you on your journey and, like answer any questions you have and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And of course, this is still like I'm totally in an operating in a state of fear.
Right.
And
well, and you don't even know what the next moves are. And so you kind of get.
have my lab work.
Right.
We don't have the facts.
Right.
So she starts right in. I don't even ask questions. She starts right in about like kind of talking about all the worst case scenario.
Oh, wonderful.
And I tell you, like, she's like, she brought up chemotherapy and I'm like, I'm not doing chemotherapy.
Good.
And she's like, don't say that. Why would you? And I'm like, I am not doing chemotherapy. Like,
I love that.
I already knew, and then she just proceeds anyway.
Yep.
Telling me, and I'm like, I eventually just told her, you need to stop. Like, we don't even have my lab results. So
Right.
we're talking about like, if my HER2 comes back negative, that's good. If it comes back positive, that's not good. And they're going to recommend chemotherapy. And you can recommend that all you want. And I'm not doing it.
Right.
So stop talking about this to me.
2 questions out of that. Why were you already against chemo? And what was this is how I'm going to tackle this?
Because chemo kills all the good in your body. It can target the cancer.
Right.
But I have a trainer at the gym who is just so smart about the human body. And I know about autophagy, where, fasting, when you fast and you put your body through, like your body goes into autophagy, it cleans up.
Right.
So it kills off the dead cells or the bad cells.
Gets rid of toxins and releases them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And doesn't kill off anything good. As a matter of fact, it enhances all the good.
Right. We should be fasting a lot more than we do as a society.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a anti-aging, totally proactive way of maintaining your health. You know, do consume things that we shouldn't, like alcohol. Fast.
Yep. Fasting is a good idea.
Fasting is good.
Is that already something that you have incorporated into your?
I did. I started doing that. Not even though my HER2 was negative.
Yeah.
But I knew, like, I mean, part of it was I just knew that chemotherapy kills off all the good. So when your body needs to be built up, you have breast cancer or you have whatever, your body needs to be built up. It needs to be strengthened, not torn down.
Amen.
And chemotherapy tears you down.
Yes.
So it might kill the cancer, but how is it leaving the rest of your body? How are you going to get, healthy again after you've literally poisoned yourself?
Yes.
Your whole entire body.
It makes zero sense.
There's a reason. First of all, there's a cure for cancer. You can prevent it.
Yep.
One, if you get it, you can cure it. And there's a reason that chemotherapy and radiation, and it's all over treatment. It makes them money.
Oh, a lot of money.
Lots of money.
I remember looking at our son's medical bills after his cancer fight, and it was $2 or $2.5 million. And I'm like, Jiminy freaking Christmas. No wonder they, and this is exactly why I don't give to like the American Cancer Society or any of those nonprofits. It's all part of the money scheme.
Yes.
It's a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your son, what kind of cancer did he have?
He had a Wilms tumor. So it was on his kidney.
Okay.
He was 1.5 years old.
Oh.
And so when it comes to this, I go, like, the stated goal of chemo is to get you as close to death as possible, hopefully killing the cancer without killing you, which our bodies want homeostasis. They want to heal. If you cut yourself, your body knows how to heal itself. Your body knows how to do it.
Yes, it does.
But we bombard it with a bunch of crap.
Uh-huh.
And then when you're bombarding it with chemo and radiation on top of it, and you're already like, the whole thing makes zero sense.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to.
No. Well, he's okay though.
He's great.
Okay, good.
Got kick-ass scars.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So you guys just did surgery?
No. Okay. So you have
and
the
I'm not
added
judging,
benefit of in the US, if you are under 18 and you have cancer, good luck going against Western medicine because the next call is CPS. So we called anybody and everybody. We were calling documentary filmmakers. We were calling clinics outside of the US. We were talking to clinics in the US because we're like, do we do high dose vitamin C infusions plus? We couldn't find anybody that would take anybody under 18, let alone 1.5 years old.
Gosh. Wow.
So we ended up pairing our Western medicine oncologist with a naturopathic oncologist out of Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And Western medicine would say, well, you need 12 rounds of this chemo at this dose. And our naturopathic oncologist would say, no, here's some studies that show that you can cut all of that in half.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to supplement with dandelion and ashwagandha and cannabis and.
Right.
And so we had to play the chemo radiation game, but we severely limited it as much as we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but I love that you were already out of the gate like, yep, I've never dealt with this before, but I already know I ain't playing this game.
Mm-hmm. Not playing that game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather die, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not going to like live shitty.
No. And that's exactly what that is.
Yeah. And then, I'll admit part of it was like, I'm not fucking losing my hair.
Oh yeah.
I'm not doing that.
No.
Like, and that's like, obviously, what it does to you and how it makes you look. Can you imagine what it's doing to the inside of you?
Right.
Like, no, I'm not doing that. I really would rather die.
Right. Well, and it's not like you might as well be dead with how miserable you are throughout that process.
Yeah.
You don't feel good.
I'm not going to live well. I don't want to live.
No.
Period.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Give me like 70 and a really good life. If those last 10 years to get to 80 are miserable, I'm checking out.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Or if I'm not dead by 80, I don't know, I might let myself eat some of the stuff I want to eat.
Yeah, why not?
Now.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I love
Work
that.
on dying.
Yeah.
Then I'll start working on dying.
There it is.
But now I'm working on living.
On living.
Not yet.
Right there with you.
So anyway, this nurse, whatever.
Is going down all the doomsday.
Oh gosh.
Garbage.
And I'm just like getting really mad. I mean, honestly, the more she mentioned chemotherapy to me, the more resistant I became. And I was like,
I love it.
You need to stop. Don't even talk to me about, like, you're not helping me.
Yeah.
Like, this is the day before fucking Thanksgiving.
Right.
And you're all going to go off on your 4-day weekend. And I'm just going to sit here and fucking
stewing
be worried.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about Nikki coming into my life yet. So I wasn't going to get the results in this HER2 being positive or negative till Monday.
Oh, gross.
Maybe. So I'm like, ugh. Anyway, super irritated. Kind of panicking.
Yeah, understandably.
Feeling like I was gearing up for a fight and like against the doctors.
I was going to say.
More than the breast cancer.
Right.
Just against the doctors.
Yeah. Because what are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're trained to administer medicine that way. Of course, that's what they're going to recommend.
Yep.
And they're the doctor. You just have a WebMD, search.
Yeah.
We know better than you do.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Totally. The attitude drives me nuts.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really pissed me off right from the get-go. So, and that, I mean, yeah, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like, if someone tells me what to do and I already have decided I'm not doing it, well, we're going to have a thing.
Yeah. We're going to put a pin in that because I have a feeling that might be a theme.
I just, I know what I want.
Yes.
And I know what I'm willing to do.
Yep. That's good.
And I'm open, but don't be an asshole.
Yeah. And don't tell you how you're going to do you.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, then, I hear from Nikki. I hear that my HER2's negative. So that's good. I'm like so relieved on Thanksgiving. I'm not worried sick for 4 days.
Right.
That following Monday, so less than a week, because it was Tuesday before Thanksgiving, I found out. So like that following Monday, I was in Dr. Moline's office with my mom and my sister as support, basically being talked into double mastectomy.
Oh my gosh.
Just, you have breast cancer. This is what we need to do. We're going to do an MRI tomorrow night. And we're going to see if it's in your nodes. And,
But they just automatically go to get rid of the breasts.
Yep.
Yep. Because we'll take the lymphs. We'll take all of it.
That we're just going to trade up. Just look at it as a trade up. And I'm like, I've never been someone who wanted or would have done such drastic surgery to my body to have fake boobs.
Right.
Like, I've never even considered it.
Yeah.
Like, it would be nice to have a perfect body, but with that kind of, with the surgery, nah. So.
I mean, because there's already enough risk in that surgery.
Yeah.
Let alone now you're cutting a bunch of healthy tissue out on top of everything else.
Right. I mean, it's totally different. I mean, you're completely removing your breast tissue.
Right.
And then they're putting in 2 surgeries minimum.
Oh.
So, because they remove the breast tissue and they put in tissue expanders so that you can go to whatever size you want.
Okay.
And then they make you heal for like 3 to 4 months. And then you go back in and have the implants put in.
Okay.
And, with each of those surgeries was 6 weeks of downtime. And, I was like, I'll give you 4. I'll give you 4. I mean,
yeah.
So, and then when I started talking to the plastic surgeons, because I was consulting with them, so the breast surgeon, Dr. Moline, was going to remove my breast tissue.
Okay.
And then the plastic surgeon was going to be the one to put in the expanders and then eventually the implants.
Right.
So, a team. And the plastic surgeon was like, I'm like, I own a business. What do you do? I mean, how are you gonna get through this? And I'm like, I didn't have like a significant other in my life at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it was like, I'm going to have my friends come over and take shifts.
Yeah.
And like, I'm probably barely going to be able to use the bathroom and like become completely needy. And they're like, you're going to need to be a burden. And I'm like, gosh, I don't know. That's not fun. And also you can't type on your laptop for like 2 weeks. Like, this is too much. And I'm like, this is not going to happen.
This doesn't
like,
vibe with the way that you do life.
No, not at all. I would go insane, being still and laying around and in pain and getting fat and having people feed me food that, I don't.
Yeah. Cause
really
they're
want.
not cooking it the way that you like.
Yeah.
No.
And then my house would be a mess.
Oh, no.
I mean, seriously, these were things that were stressing me. And I was like, there's no way I can do this. Like,
at what point is your stress over like how you'd have to recover versus the stress of facing cancer? Which one's starting to outweigh the other?
The surgery. Yeah. And the recovery.
Yeah.
And that's also came with me. Just, I started doing research.
Oh yeah. You were
bought a book.
digging in.
Yeah. I bought a book written by, she was a breast surgeon. So she spent most of her life being like telling women, well, we need to
exactly what
breasts.
Dr. Moline said.
Yeah. We need to take off your breasts, chemo, radiation, which outside of that one nurse that was completely out of line, no one told me I would need chemo or radiation.
Oh. They just
and then I eventually found out, like through my lab work, that I wouldn't have even benefited from it. Like, I basically had the most garden variety. Like, not all cancers like are that threatening.
No, exactly.
Like, if it's a tumor, it could stay in there and do nothing.
Right.
It could be stable or shrink. I mean, I actually did shrink my tumor. We'll get there.
I'm so excited.
But,
well, and that's and that's where, so I'm assuming then once they finally gave you the diagnosis, you're probably what, stage 1?
Yeah, I was like stage 0 to 1.
Yeah. So it was,
yeah.
Trying to think of where we were at with my son.
I figured that out, by the way, by reading this book, not from the doctors.
Seriously? That's what I'm like,
they didn't
at
tell
what point
me
are they telling
and
you?
I asked.
Well, and this is kind of my problem with the medical system because like, how do you know? Okay, so you get diagnosed and then they just kind of like put you on this track and you just go and they just assume that you're going to follow them along, right?
I'm
Instead of
everything they say.
Here's point A, here's your 5 options.
Yeah.
Okay, from this option, we get to point B and here's your 5 more options.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of have you do this, and this, and you just listen to us and go along for the ride.
They overdiagnose.
It's like, that's not how it works.
No, they overdiagnose and overtreat and they make a shit ton of money.
Yes.
And they don't, and they know that most of what they're telling you to do is going to set you up for something else down the road.
Yes.
On the other side of chemotherapy is heart disease.
Yep.
On the other side of the drugs, like they have aromatase inhibitors that, they want you to take that's supposed to reduce your risk of cancer. Well, turns out I wouldn't have benefited from it. But even if they told me to take it, I'd be like, yeah, screw you. I'm not, because they're actually it's actually tamoxifen, actually a known carcinogen.
Of course it is.
Yes. While it might be reducing, which I think is total bullshit, your chance of having a recurrence of breast cancer, it's increasing your chance of uterine cancer.
Oh, wonderful.
Why would I want to? I mean, I am not trading one problem for another.
No.
Why would I want to do that?
Well, and that's the whole.
Also, it makes you feel like total shit, throws you into menopause. No.
That all sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Lindsey,
nope.
You sure you don't want to go along for that?
Yeah.
No.
Let me take one every day.
Well, and that's as soon as you get on one pill, this is going to help with your high cholesterol or whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
Then it leads to another pill. And then it leads, because every single thing that you add, because we're already complex systems. Our biology is wild.
Yeah.
Right. And I've heard a biologist say it, that we are fish constantly out of water.
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that is just the environment that we're in. Like, try and get into a good, clean, even if you're up in the mountains drinking spring water and eating naturally growing stuff, you're still, the air itself is still,
right.
There's something in it, right? So
Yeah.
like, good luck getting out of all of it.
Yeah.
But why would you ever add to the stress that your body's already under by taking that pill,
Yeah.
by doing the chemo? But like, it makes no sense.
Yeah. At this point, I won't even, I mean, it would take a lot for me to take even ibuprofen or Tylenol.
Yeah.
Because your body, like if you have a headache, it's not because you're deficient in ibuprofen or Tylenol.
Right.
You have a headache for a reason.
Yes.
Like we have reasons that things are going on with our bodies.
Well, and they're warning systems, right?
Yeah.
Like, cool. So you might be dehydrated. Maybe
Likely.
You're short on some minerals.
Or I had too much alcohol.
Or you had,
Damn it.
That was me Saturday
Again.
night. Coffee fixed it the next morning, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we like to, because we don't like being uncomfortable, we go to suppress it.
Yeah.
And instead of actually fixing the problem. Yeah.
Yep. Just cover up the symptoms
Cover
instead
'em up.
of, and yeah, it's amazing. So I just learned so much. I read this book. So she was
Do you remember what the name of it was?
Yes. The Smart Woman's Guide to Breast Cancer.
Ah, cool. Okay.
So like I said, she was a breast surgeon, and then she was faced with her own medical diagnosis. I don't think it was cancer. I can't remember specifically what it was, but it changed her perspective where she was like, oh my gosh, I mean, I'm being told I need to do all these things and I'm not willing to do them to my body. But I've been telling, women to do this to their bodies as if it's no big deal. This is just what we do.
Right.
And so it changed her perspective. And so now she's an integrative oncologist and she has a podcast. And like, I was just listening to it on my way here.
Oh, I love that. What's her podcast called?
Keeping Abreast.
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah. So Dr. Jen Simmons. And
Cool.
so yeah, I read her book cover to cover in less than 24 hours and was like, whew, I'm good.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. I knew from her book what stage I was in. So I felt very like at peace.
Yeah.
And it's where I learned about cryoablation. And
What's that?
it's where and it's what I ended up having done. It's where they inject a freeze probe into your breast.
Yeah.
And they do it for other parts of the body too. But they inject liquid nitrogen around the tumor and kill it. And then they thaw and then they freeze again and it's dead.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
Cryoablation.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool.
Cryoablation. Yeah. So of course not done as mainstream and
Right.
not, none of the doctors mentioned it to me.
Well, is it covered by insurance? Is it
No.
FDA approved? Is it right? It's all the
No.
crap.
I think it's FDA cleared, but it's not covered by insurance.
No.
I received so I was scheduled for surgery twice. I had 2 different dates. So, when I found out before Thanksgiving, and then I was also in my busy season with my business.
Yeah.
So I finished that out. And the doctor was like, you're fine, get through your busy season because there's no way I could have gone into immediate surgery. I was still in my busy season.
And what do you do?
Little Hero Uniforms.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
Is that what's the website?
littleherouniforms.com.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Go check it out. Yeah. I do remember. Yeah. And Mike likes it too.
Yeah.
Like, I still have hats. I think it's the hats.
Yeah. He's trying to sell my California Thin Blue Line hats for me. Because, as I knew when I ordered for California, they're just one of my higher, as far as website traffic, California, New York, there's certain states that I get the most traffic from. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do those states.
Yeah.
But of course, liberal, they're not buying the Thin Blue Line.
No.
Or even the Thin Red Line. But anyway.
But but these are, it's clothing for, describe the business for us.
Okay. So it's like first responder uniforms or costumes for kids that I personalize to make very authentic and like the real thing.
That's so cool.
And the way that I do them, I'm the only one in the world to do them the way I do, especially the firefighter. Yeah.
That's
cool.
so, Okay, so we'll come back to that because I
Yeah.
have more
Okay.
questions there.
We'll come back. Okay.
But we'll stay on the. So at what point do you read the book?
I feel like it was maybe December.
Okay, so a little bit after
January.
Thanksgiving.
A little bit after Thanksgiving.
You get
might have been January.
that meeting with the
actually.
doctor. We're going to do all this, but we're going to put a pause on surgery because you're in the busy season.
Yeah.
You got the holidays coming up.
Yeah.
You're going to sell a bunch of stuff. So
Mhm.
we'll do this after, but you're reading and researching and
Yeah.
everything else.
Actually, it was January because I found out in December that they scheduled me for my surgery on January 28th.
Okay.
And at first I was still in a state of fear. I was still like, we had done the MRI. It wasn't in my nodes, but
Okay.
they were like, then during surgery, I knew that while they're taking my breast tissue, they were going to sample my nodes to see if the cancer had spread. And I was afraid that, oh my gosh, what if it has? Like, then what?
Right.
Because then you're going to remove my breasts. Then you're going to tell me the result of that. Then you're going to tell me I need chemo. And I'm like, no, still no. Like,
right.
So don't even take my notes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Well, and plus we knew from the MRI, but then they're like, that can be inaccurate. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
ugh,
They always
okay,
want to
whatever.
hedge their bets.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So I was still in fear though. But when they called and told me January 28th, and of course I'm mostly communicating with Nikki, like, direct access. So I was like, I was like, Nikki, I want this out yesterday. Like, get this out of my body.
Right.
So January 28th, like, you want me to wait a month?
Yeah.
That's not okay with me.
Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Like, we're trading up, remember? And
right.
so she was like, Lindsey, you're fine. It's probably fine. It's probably stable. It's okay. And I was like, well, I need to talk to Dr. Malene. Like, I trust you. I know, I believe you, but I need to hear it from her mouth.
Okay.
So I talked to Dr. Malene on the phone and she's like, yeah, you're totally fine. She's like, you would even be fine if we went into February, like end of February. So with that information, I was like, maybe I should take a step back and start, thinking.
Yeah.
So I ordered the book. Well, I saw it on Instagram. You know how our phones listen to us? So suddenly I'm starting to get all of this information that I'm just like...
All you're seeing is breast cancer stuff?
Yeah. And I'm like, this is such bullshit because then it's like it has a way of defining. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying. That
Well, it's the stuff in our awareness.
Yeah. Well, and I wasn't cancer.
Right.
I wasn't breast cancer.
No.
But my phone's spitting all this stuff out at me.
Well, and that is one
that's
thing
my new identity
that drives me
it
crazy.
Pisses me off.
Yes, is the my cancer. Stop fucking claiming the cancer.
Nope.
It's not yours.
It's not.
You are yes, it's a battle and that's your battle. But as soon as you say my cancer, you're just reinforcing the cancer.
Yep.
Knock it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting defined by it is
Yeah, no, I experienced it.
Yeah,
period.
That's very well said.
Experienced it.
Yeah.
And I whooped its ass.
Yeah.
Here I am.
I love it.
So,
but I do like that you had this step back period.
Yeah.
Because you felt
totally.
Because you knew that you weren't going to have to. I mean, as long as you weren't going to do chemo, weren't doing radiation, but they are going to cut. They're going to get rid of it. That works.
I'm going to trade up.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm 44 years old, looking for a partner, having perfect breasts. I mean, it's not so bad.
It's not terrible.
Not so bad.
Yeah.
Except for the recovery times that I just still couldn't wrap my head around because I'm like,
Right.
I'm a single mom. I own a business. Plus, even if I had nothing to do, I can't be still.
No.
And I can't have people taking
Doting
care
on
of
you.
me.
Yeah.
I can't have people in my house that if I walk out of my bedroom and it's like a disaster, I would
Lose it.
Be like, get out.
I'll just do it myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will do it myself. I don't need my arms. I've got my...
As you got tubes out of you and you're...
Got my legs. Yeah,
oh
whatever.
my gosh. Yeah. It all sounds terrible.
Ugh, yeah. So And plus I had lots of friends that were sending me stuff, which at a certain point became annoying because I'm
Yeah.
like, can we talk about something else?
Yeah.
Can you just
Can we go back to like normal
like
life, please?
at a certain point it's like if I have one more person tell me I need to do this or add this to like drinking, eating like squeezing lemons into water, which I was doing. It's like
Right.
that's not going to cure it,
No.
but
This is good
it'll
detox.
improve my
But
health,
yeah.
which I was doing. I was doing 1,000 things.
Yeah,
Like,
what were you doing?
oh my gosh. So I instantly got on ivermectin and fenbendazole
Oh, nice.
and
Good.
methylene blue. I started watching videos on YouTube. Dr. Berg,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the keto guy. Anyway, he's all about the keto diet.
Yep. Getting into those ketones
So
going.
I swear I learned so much
Oh,
from
yeah.
watching his videos and also Dr. Living Good on YouTube. Then I stumbled upon Bobby Parrish, have you heard of the Bobby Approved app? It's
Probably.
It's free.
And I know the name, but I can't remember what his gig is.
He just is super well educated on ingredients and labels and like knowing what's bad and what's good.
Yep.
And of course, most of our foods
It's crap.
they're full of like seed oils,
Yep.
just, all the garbage.
Even stuff that you don't think is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like I remember my wife doesn't handle dairy very well. So almond milk or alternate milks.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what the hell is carrageenan? Oh,
No,
it's terrible for you.
Yes.
And they put it in. And then what about all these gums? What about all the seed oils? I mean, there's so many, every little thing.
And the starches and,
Yeah.
refined carbs, breads.
Yeah.
Talk about the food pyramid. My dad still eats his wheat bread and thinks he's doing good for himself.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
Like,
no, you should be eating meat, animal proteins, some kind of combination thereof, fruits and veggies.
But mostly fruits and veggies. And yeah. And yeah, did have some doctors that are on the alternative side tell me I needed to cut out meat.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. I didn't, but it's like, I'm not going to completely change everything. Like,
right.
What I started doing was if I'm going to buy beef, it's got to be organic, grass fed.
Yes. Well, because all the antibiotics and other crap.
Because before I would only buy foods that like based just whatever was cheapest, like shop the deals.
Yeah.
And I would, pay somewhat attention. Like it had to say like no antibiotics, whatever.
Right.
But that's kind of all bullshit.
Right.
Okay? Because their diet, even if they're not being injected with antibiotics or whatever,
still
their
eating
diet
GMO garbage.
Yeah. So, chicken's got to be pasture raised organic.
Yeah.
Even
better if you have a local farmer that you can go buy some eggs from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I really do at this point buy all of the cleanest ingredients.
Yep.
Pretty much buy my vegetables based on the Dirty Dozen. So there's, the dozen that you should buy organic, period.
Yep.
And then I still wash them with, like Trader Joe's has a Bobby approved fruit and vegetable wash. So I wash them with that.
That's a good one.
But I love, like there's a few apps, but I love his, and there's EWG. But you can just be in the store and you scan the barcode. Yep. And it'll say whether or not it's approved or not. And it'll highlight the ingredients that are bad so that
So good. And it makes life so much easier.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was okay, now I got to look at this. Okay, there's 10 things in this ingredient list. I know what 5 of these are. These other 5 though.
Yeah.
And then you'd be sitting in the aisle Googling and trying to figure it out. Being able to just scan the barcode because somebody's already done the work for you.
Makes it so easy.
And what was Parrish's app called?
Bobby approved.
Bobby approved.
Yep.
Okay.
Free, easy.
Done. Go get it.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started watching his videos too. So just all that information, the book, my trainer at the gym, I met with him a few times and we started talking about like supplementation. So I like literally have like this huge bin at home that I started,
and there's so many different
full of like all the supplementation that I was taking.
Yeah. Were you getting blood work at the same time? Did you know where else you were deficient?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I'm going to have Dr. Renee do that
in
the next month.
Yeah, I'm getting my result on Friday. I'm really excited.
I'm wanting optimal. Like, that's where I want to be at. Don't talk to me about normal.
Right. Let's kick ass.
And she's all about that, which is one of the reasons, like, gone to her, even though she wants, she caters to men.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
What about me?
Yeah. Like, I want you to be my doctor.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yeah. So, and I love her. She's
great.
She's so awesome.
Yeah. And the vibes in her office are great.
Mm-hmm. She's smart. She's no bullshit.
Yep.
Wants optimal health.
Yep. She's the exact opposite of your typical doctor too, because you go into your primary care and the nurse measures you, and okay, the doctor will be in a couple minutes, and the doctor comes in for all of 7 minutes, I think is the average. Yeah. How the hell are they supposed to figure out what's going on with you in 7 minutes?
Well, they don't want to.
No. Whereas Renee, I think I was in there for like an hour.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. 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 She's great. So then my trainer at the gym started talking to me, which I had already known about fasting, because he does regular fasting. And it was always one of those things was like, I'm never doing that. Like, that sounds horrible.
It sounds horrible. And then when you're trying to work out on top of it, like, I need calories.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like it was sometime in January, I did my first fast and I went over 72 hours.
Oh, nice.
And then I just did a lot more fasting.
Yeah.
And so a little before January 28th, I went out with Nikki and we went to Cedars. One of my best friends, Megan, manages the bar there.
Oh, cool.
So she had known everything I'd been up to about like all this alternative medicine. I mean, ivermectin. I was on fenbendazole, which is K90 wormer. And because
parasites are a pretty big cause of cancers.
Yeah.
It's not the only thing, but rule it out.
Yep. I mean,
and we all probably have parasites, so get rid of them.
Right. Yeah. Turkey tail, mushrooms. I mean, you name it. And 1,000 supplements, methylene blue.
Yeah. Did you notice a big difference with methylene? I mean, you're taking so many things, it's probably hard to figure out, like pinpoint it. But
yeah. And I mean, the thing is I never felt unhealthy.
Like, you were already kicking ass.
If anything, I mean, I know why I got breast cancer.
You do?
Uh-huh. It's stress.
Oh, yeah.
Living in fight or flight for years.
Yeah.
Like running from fire, figuratively, obviously. But yeah,
Yeah. It's not like you're raising 2 boys.
While owning a business and shit show constantly.
Constant state of stress. I wonder what that'll do to your body.
Well, I'm an example.
Yeah.
Of that. So, it became, and then finding out about the cancer, the breast cancer.
Yeah. And then your stress level spikes even more.
For sure. And then, facing surgery, major surgery, and just it was stressful.
Yeah. Your cortisol's through the roof. Your adrenal glands are stressed beyond max.
For sure.
Yeah. You're just getting hammered.
My adrenal glands still need to steady because. Yeah. And Dr. Renee told me that's going to take months. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Like,
I want it now.
I'm fine. Let's just let go of it.
Yeah.
Body. But anyway, okay, where was I?
Okay. So you're taking all this stuff. You go out with Nikki, you go to Cedars.
Yeah. I go to Cedars and with Nikki. And like I said, Megan already knew the road I'd gone down, which was adversarial.
Yeah. Did Nikki know this yet?
Nope.
No, this is coming out at this.
Yeah. So Megan walks up and she's like, she sensed because Nikki was looking at me like, she's like, oh, are you telling her? And I'm like, I sure am. So Megan just brings over a couple of drinks and sets him down. And I just was like, Nikki, I want to delay surgery.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, really? Why? And I'm like, well, because I'm doing all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you doing? And I could just see the disappointment in her face, like she's already thinking I'm just an idiot. Like I'm wasting my time, probably making the cancer grow, whatever. I mean, I could just tell she was not into it at all.
No.
And not going to support me. But I'm like, well, you guys did tell me that I could have 3 months from diagnosis, which again, I hate using that word, finding out.
Yeah.
So January 28th is 2 months. I want till the end of February.
Yep.
And, she's like, okay, well, just, fine, one more month. And I'm like, so basically for that month, I fasted my ass off.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Which then created I fasted for 7 days. So I had,
Jeez.
so my next surgery date was pushed out to February 25th, actually my youngest son's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yep. Happy birthday. So the week before I scheduled an ultrasound to see if the tumor had shrunk, like if everything I was doing in that
was
month
working
and had started, but really got serious in that month. I was completely dedicated to whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
Like fasting, no alcohol, like whatever.
Yeah.
So I had my ultrasound on the 20th of February, and the next day was my pre-op appointment with the plastic surgeon, where he was going to be giving me all of my prescriptions that they send you home on, which, surgery in and of itself, like having anesthetic pumping through your body for that many hours.
Also not great.
So bad.
Yeah.
Then, of course, all the medications that they send you home on,
Yep.
bad. So, I was up against the clock for sure.
Yeah, you were.
But I scheduled the tumor for as close as I could get, or the ultrasound
Scan, yeah.
so that I could see, like,
right.
So,
and you had to do that? I'm surprised they didn't.
Well, I told them to order it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I went in. So the ultrasound tech, she was super cool. I'm just laying there and she's doing the ultrasound. She's like, you shrunk your tumor. It's shrunk.
Wow.
I was like, really? And so it was like when they first found it, it was 1.7.
Okay.
And then she measured it at 1.5.
Cool.
So I was like, that's cool. That doesn't just happen.
No.
So I knew that, okay. And I had met with women who have done this, like the way that I did.
Yeah.
And you fix your metabolic health. And
Yep.
that's huge. I mean, that's where everything starts, no matter what it is. Metabolic health is like so important.
Yes.
So, but I had known a woman who had started with 3 breast cancers, hired Metabolic Institute of Seattle to help coach her. And so she got rid of 2 of them. And the third one, she was working on shrinking. So it's like, yes, you can. Your body can heal itself.
Yes, it wants to.
It totally
We just have to support it in the cause.
Yes, absolutely. So, reducing stress. Some people in my life had to pay attention to the fact that I can't do all that I'm doing and not have the support and help, like, with my ex and stuff. You can either have me here or I'm going to die. And you can do this all on your own. So
well, let me scare you a little bit. You don't want me gone.
Yeah, you don't want me gone. So yeah, the ultrasound tech was, she's like, you shrunk your tumor, and
which is amazing because normally there's the term scanxiety. And I swear every time, because with my son, for the first year first 2 years, 3 years. We had to go in quarterly, and then it moved to twice a year. I think we might technically still be on once a year, but we're also kind of like, he's fine. You guys can go kick rocks.
Right.
And they aren't supposed to say anything, right? Because they aren't supposed to diagnose as techs.
Right.
And so I hate can you actually get him to move? Because I'm having trouble seeing. And it's like, just the amount of like fear that comes out of doing those scans.
Yep.
And then they give you these looks sometimes and it's like, don't even look at since you can't tell me anything anyways.
Yeah.
This is poker.
Yeah.
Have a poker face on. I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
So it's nice that she actually delivered good news.
She totally
that's
did.
normally not what that's like.
She wasn't afraid to tell me. And I knew who she was because she had done ultrasound on me before I found out I had breast cancer. But So there's a imaging place in Liberty Lake, Covina,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like this boutique-y. They just do ultrasounds and they don't even take insurance. So it's like, it's really geared towards making it less threatening to get
Good.
the imaging. And so I stumbled upon them and met the owner and some amazing women through that. And then one of them, the gal that did my ultrasound, she also works at Covina. So her spirit is like, yeah, your body can totally heal itself.
I love that.
You know, but she also works at Inland Imaging in Spokane. So anyway, I felt like she knew what I was trying to do. And so she's had no problem telling me. But she did say, but don't tell the radiologist when they come in that, you know, we don't want to steal your thunder. I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine.
Yeah.
So then the radiologist comes in and my best friend Megan is sitting there with me, and the radiologist comes in wearing a mask. Okay.
Yep.
We're in February. Anyway, I'm like,
way past COVID.
Told me everything I need to know about you.
Yep.
Don't need to know more. But anyway, she's the radiologist. She's also the same one that had done my biopsy. Okay. It was like, I expect this to come back benign. Don't worry about it, you know?
Right.
So she starts talking to me. She's like, you are the talk of the office. Like, you're not supposed to have breast cancer. I did your biopsy. Yeah, this is a total shock to all of us. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm a celebrity out of it.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, she instantly says, I think you should do double mastectomy, chemo, radiation, and we should take out your ovaries.
What the fuck?
I know. And I thought she was
my God.
I thought she was joking.
And the way that this started, I'm thinking, okay, you're a celebrity because you got it to shrink. No, you're a celebrity because she said you didn't have it and you do have it. So I'm already wrong there.
Yeah.
And I was expecting you to say, yeah, she said it shrunk, but we're still going to move forward. No, she like quadrupled down on everything.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Quadrupled down for sure. For sure.
And we're just going to toss in the ovaries for good measure.
Yeah.
What is that? 3-for-1 special? Like, how does that, what the hell?
Well, I had my blood work done and I have the RAD51C gene mutation.
Okay. Yeah. What does that one do?
Oh, it's not the BRCA. I don't know.
Well, because I've got a weird.
I looked that up. You have a weird one?
Yeah. MTHFR. I can't methylate some of the minerals or vitamins or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huh. I don't know.
But we all got something weird going on.
Yeah, we've all got some shit, and we can change. We can change how our genes express themselves.
Yes, we can.
What I learned. So, so basically with that, it means statistically, which I also was like, I refused to lump myself into statistics.
Because that's the common.
Yeah, the common.
And you are not common.
No, the common person is eating shit.
Yep.
Fast food. Not working out, just living the most horrible life in terms of taking care of themselves.
Right. So why would you measure yourself by those standards?
Right. So statistically, I, with this gene mutation, have, I don't know what it was, like slightly higher risk of breast cancer than the normal person.
Yep.
And 10 to 15% chance of ovarian.
Oh.
And so I was like, I feel like I have a higher chance of dying on my way home today in a car accident. So I'm not removing my ovaries. And that's, again, statistically. So I bet my percentages are even way lower.
Right.
Because we all have a chance of cancer.
Of course.
And most of us have cancer 2 to 3 times in our lives and don't even know it.
Right.
So if you're like, let's just narrow that gap.
Well, and not only are you messing with healthy breast tissue, which is the majority, right? I mean, you have this very small cancer.
Yeah.
Plus your lymph nodes, plus, that thing that controls your hormones. Let's get rid of those.
Yeah.
That's not going to cause health issues. You're just going to take hormones the rest of your life. It's psychotic.
And like, I would have been thrown into early menopause.
Also fun.
At 44. Like, fuck. No, again, I'd rather die. Right. Okay. Nope. Not happening.
Nope.
So I thought she was joking. at first. Like I laughed. And then I proceeded for about the next 60 seconds as if she was joking. Like, sorry, I keep pulling away from
it's okay. Yeah.
So there was a moment where I was like, you're not joking. She's like, through her mask. And I was like,
no.
Dog fight.
Yeah.
Dog fight at that point. Like,
yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not going to do chemotherapy and I would never do radiation. I said, I'm not saying I won't do double mastectomy. But I'm not doing these other things and take out my ovaries, throw myself into early menopause over a 10 to 15% chance when I probably have a reduced
much lower chance than that.
Like, and throw myself into early menopause. No, why would I do that? Well, have you talked to women who've gone through what you know, what I'm saying and how they actually feel? I'm like, no, because I don't need to.
No.
Like, I don't need to hear from other women how, you know, they made it to the other side and they feel okay. Like, I'm sorry, okay is not my standard.
That's not your, yeah.
And I'm not going to go through the next however many years. No, it's not happening. So
can I reflect back really quick how brave you are throughout this whole thing? Because it is so hard to face the surgeon, the radiologist, all these people, because they already come into those situations mightier than thou.
Mm-hmm.
And
totally.
And it is that, I mean, going out to dinner and saying that to Nikki, right? Like they think that you should not have an opinion.
Right.
And that theirs is the end all be all.
Yeah.
And so when you push back on stuff like that, it can be scary. Mm-hmm. And you are just like kick ass through this whole thing. It's made me mad. I just want to like stand up and applaud because I love this. I love the way you handled it.
Thank you. It just made me mad.
Yeah.
I mean, and before this ultrasound that I had, and by the way, she made no mention of my tumor shrinking.
Not one?
At all.
Hey, congrats, by the way.
Yeah. So if the ultrasound tech hadn't told me, you know,
you had to figure out your diagnosis, what stage you're at by yourself.
Yeah.
And now they aren't telling you that. Like,
I figured it all out on my own.
Crazy.
Yeah. And the more I figured out, the more I obviously didn't trust a word they were telling me.
No. And why would you?
Right. Yeah. But before this ultrasound, you know, when I was basically asking permission to delay my surgery from the 28th to the 25th of February, I talked to Dr. Moline on the phone.
Uh-huh.
And she basically berated me and was like, doing all these things, like such a waste of time. You're not going to affect anything. You're not going to change your tumor. You're blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I'll show you.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's
good on you.
And then I went the month and was just like kicking ass and taking names and, you know.
So you had agreed, I mean, right, you have the date at the end of January, then it moves over to February. You still had double mastectomy as the treatment option ultimately.
Yeah, I was still scheduled. So the ultrasound day where, you know, I had this confrontation with the radiologist.
Right, on the 20th.
Yeah.
You're coming up on the 25th.
And then the next day was pre-op.
Right,
appointment.
Yeah.
And then the 25th was Tuesday. So it was a Thursday and a Friday, pre-op appointment on Friday. Then we were going to go through the weekend and I was having surgery on Tuesday.
Jeez. So, and had you already started to add that alternate of, okay, I'm going to get this to shrink and I wonder if maybe I really should just pull out of all of it or.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So after that appointment, I mean, Megan stood up and the ultrasound tech was still in there. And I was like, wow. And Megan was like, that was intense. And I'm like, you know, talking to the ultrasound tech about chemotherapy. Like, I was like, you know what's on the other side of chemotherapy, right? She's like, and I said, heart disease. She's like, I know.
Yep.
I mean, they know.
Yes,
and
of course they
do. And
do.
this ultrasound tech was on my side. Like, she wasn't trying to tell me these things, but the radiologist, they know what they're telling you to do to your body. And they don't even give a shit.
No.
So.
Because that's what they've been trained to do.
Yeah.
And they're indoctrinated into it.
I know. They've been trained by the textbook.
Yep.
So whatever. Anyway, I read different books and I, you know, took it into my own hands.
Well, and to be fair, they are dealing with the common person.
Yeah.
And the common person does not take responsibility for their own actions.
Some people want the surgery. Some people want the pill. Some people just want to sit in the chair and inject me with whatever, and I'll go home and I'll feel like shit because I'm not doing anything today anyway.
It's the whole classic choose your hard,
Yeah.
right? Having a fit body is hard.
Yeah.
You have to go to the gym. You have to
Totally.
eat right. You have to put yourself under good stress.
Yeah.
Being miserable, overweight, decrepit, all that other stuff, also hard. But it was a lazier path to hard, I guess.
I guess. I wouldn't be able to stand it.
So which, like, are you going to take action or are you going to not? Either way, there's hardness there.
Yeah.
There's something tough.
Yep.
And so many people just want to take the lazy way out.
Yeah.
And so of course, and that's as much as I want to berate Western medicine, I get it.
Yeah.
Like I get why we have what we have.
Yeah.
And it's because most people don't want to take that responsibility.
Well, and it's a comfort thing. Like
totally.
People get comfortable in their lifestyle. They get comfortable with, well, I just don't feel great every day. And
right.
That's okay. Because nothing serious is happening. They don't think about that coming. And,
right.
Some people are they treat their bodies like shit their whole lives and they never have anything serious.
Right.
So it's like, everyone kind of rolls the dice, and I don't know. I couldn't do it. Like,
no,
that 1 hour a day, which I hate working out. Like some workouts I love and others just like,
do I have to do this again? Yeah.
I'd rather die.
Yeah. But not actually.
No.
So I guess I'll do this.
Right.
Yeah.
So 1 hour a day, sometimes I work out more, but it's like, I always tell myself it's such a small percentage of my day. Like 1 hour a day to feel great the other 24 hours.
Yeah.
And, feel good, look good, feel good.
Yeah. All of it. It's good for your mental health. It's clearly good for your physical health.
Right.
Well, and all the good, happy, not just hormones, though. What are they called? Neurotransmitters that get released from working out.
Yeah.
It's hard. And I like leg day, but let's just pick on leg day.
Yeah.
Do you always want to do leg day?
No.
But you get to choose the hard.
Yeah.
And then you feel like a champ afterwards. Mentally, right? Because you knew that you conquered it. And then you just feel good the rest of the day because you released all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, even when on the worst workout day, it's not really a bad workout day. No.
So, okay. So ultrasound appointment, I walk out of there guns blazing.
Yeah. You're ready. You were already fighting. Now you're double down, ready to fight.
Yeah. And then I had a different appointment with an appointment with another breast surgeon that afternoon.
Okay.
I was just consulting the hell out of all the doctors.
Right. Get multiple opinions.
Yep. And,
smart.
At this point, obviously guns are blazing. Walk into this doctor's office. She's too wearing a mask, but not everyone in the office is. So it's clear that it's optional.
It's optional.
Which is even worse.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
It's the worst.
Yeah. And she's fat. Both of them are fat. And I'm sorry.
And that's the other thing. I'm not taking advice from somebody that's in worse shape than me.
Yeah. I mean, it was everything I could do to hold my tongue back. Like Megan in the radiology appointment was like, gosh, I mean, she's like, I was really hoping you didn't call her out on her health because she was obviously not in health.
Yep.
And I did tell her though, that radiologist, I was like, I'll see you in 90 years. She's like,
no, you won't.
Yeah. She's like, not if it goes to your brain, then you're done. I'm like, nope, I'll see you in 90 years. I just was like, fuck off.
Yeah. The attitude from these people is terrible.
I just want to tell her, you're probably riddled with cancer. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. When was the last time you had a scan?
McDonald's on your way home. Jeez. And you're wearing a mask and just all the things.
All the things. Oh, man.
So I go to this other doctor's appointment later that day with another breast surgeon. So Dr. Moline, but just a different gal.
Yep.
And I basically was just like, I already know the answer to every question I'm going to ask you, so you better fucking tell me the truth. And I was like that, just stone cold.
I love it. No beating around the bush here.
Because I'm going to know if you're lying to me.
Yep.
So she's like, okay. I'm like, all right. Here we go. And I asked, she answered all the questions pretty, truthfully.
Yeah. Give us an example. What's the Because are you
Well,
expecting you already know the answers that she's going to give because she's Western medicine, or what are the answers that you're getting out of these, and what are the questions?
like, just don't talk to me about statistics
Oh
and
yeah.
I shrunk my tumor, that doesn't just happen. And she could see the radiology appointment that I just had. It
Yeah.
had been,
Uploaded into their
uploaded.
system.
So,
Yeah.
I mainly talked to her about lumpectomy because I
Okay.
hadn't really seriously considered lumpectomy, but I was like,
And that's just spot removal?
yeah, it's like where they just surgically remove the tumor and some margin
Yep.
around it.
Okay.
But then with that, they want to do radiation. And that was
Mm.
another thing. I was like, nope,
Yeah.
not doing radiation. That's super bad for your body.
Yeah.
And it also kills your tissue. No, not doing radiation. You can cut the mass out, like if I let you. So,
Yeah.
so she ended up determining that I'd lose like a third of my breast. And I was like, well, that's not an option. Not an option.
Yeah.
So basically left there like, well, I'll never see her again. Okay. And then called the owner of Kavina that night, was kind of stressing because I still had surgery scheduled, still had my pre-op appointment.
Yeah, you're coming up. You only got the weekend and a day.
Yeah. So I called the owner of Kavina and I was like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know if I should do double mastectomy or not. And she's like, Lindsey, why don't you have you really truly considered cryoablation? And I was like, well, I have. And I ended up meeting with Dr. Bartels at the Beacon Clinic in Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
So he's actually on my website as a model.
Oh, cool.
And with his kids. So I knew I knew him, and I'd met with him and talked to him about cryoablation. And he first of all, he's now my doctor for this kind of shit because he knows me. One, he respects I'm going to do the alternative stuff.
Yeah.
And he'll talk to me and well, textbook answer is this, but I know this, this is how you want to view
and they have
things.
to be careful with that too, because again, you've got FDA and NIH and all these other things that rule law of the land, more or less.
Yeah.
And you can lose your license. They want you to do the textbook thing.
Yep.
And there's so many good alternatives, and the textbook is more often than not the right answer.
Right.
We're playing this really messed up game.
Yeah.
So I'm glad
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I
had to interject.
No, I found him, but his concern over cryoablation, he said he'd had one woman that he sent to have cryoablation, but the imaging afterwards was hard to read, hard to decipher.
Okay.
So I kind of just dismissed it at that point. But then when Angela brought it up to me again the night after my ultrasound, I was like, okay, I'm just, you know what? I cannot go into surgery on, a few days from now without really having explored this last thing.
Yeah.
So she's like, I know Dr. Barclay in Arizona, because they're just not that many that do it.
Right.
So it was either going to be Arizona or California.
Okay.
She's like, I know Dr. Barclay in Arizona, and so you get on her website and you message her, and then I'll also text her. So by the next day, Dr. Barclay was calling me from the airport. She was on her way to Costa Rica to visit family, and just the nicest lady, super sweet. She knew surgery was imminent, so she was trying to figure out whether or not I'd be a candidate for cryoablation before I took that.
That's amazing.
Leap.
I mean, that says something about her right out of the gate.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. I mean, she's on her way to Costa Rica. She's calling me from the airport, send me your this and that. And so she was gone a couple of weeks. So we're on Friday now, the date of my pre-op.
Yeah.
And I just was like, can't do this.
No.
Can't do this. I was a mess. I was I felt I knew I wasn't making a mistake if I canceled the surgery.
Right.
But also having this in my body, period, no matter how strong I was, no matter how fearless I felt, there was a sense of fear.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm not sure.
Right.
There would be moments of ooh, am I fucking around with the universe here?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, and so at this point, do you have a pretty good sense of your intuition and your gut and
Yes.
everything?
Oh, yeah.
And so you feel at peace if you cancel, but there's still kind of that uneasiness.
Yeah.
But really your gut is telling you, no, I can cancel this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did.
How did that call go?
Good. I just called up plastic surgery and I was like, I can't do it. Like, I can't go through with this. I don't feel like I've explored all my other options as well as I should. And I'm not at peace. I'm not going to show up for surgery.
Yep.
Which by the way, I think it was going to be, the initial surgery was going to be done at Sacred Heart.
Okay.
And they sent me the preliminary just hospital fees bill.
It's not inexpensive.
Yeah. And my portion of it was going to be like, I don't know, $900 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was $62,000 just for the first surgery for just the hospital fees, not the 2 surgeons that were going to be in the room, and probably
that's how we got to $2.5 million on my son. It's like, man, it ain't cheap.
No. So, and of course, insurance was going to be picking up the vast majority of that. I mean, $900 was going to be my part, but obviously I didn't pay it, but just goes to show you. So cryoablation was $11,500 and not covered by insurance.
Yep.
So
if this was just based on money, you weren't making the smart money choice.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
But,
But when it's your health,
I'll do anything.
You'll do anything.
I'll do anything.
Yeah.
So, canceled it and I felt just a huge sense of relief.
Oh, like, what a cool confirmation.
I wasn't sleeping. Both surgery dates the week before. I was
You're a mess.
Not sleeping.
Yeah.
Even on 120 milligrams of melatonin, which is a lot.
That's a lot of melatonin.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just laying there,
not
sleeping. Like,
no. That's almost miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just knew, like, for me, I felt like God was sending me messages.
Yeah.
Like, there was a reason I could not sleep, relax. Like, I couldn't come to peace with this. I tried, but no. I couldn't just look at it as a trade up.
No. As much as they try and
I never wanted fake boobs.
Cover it up that. No.
So, if it came to the choice of dying or fake boobs, I would have
choose fake boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, my biggest thing against it, outside of just the surgery and the recovery time, was other than one friend, I don't know any women that have had implants that haven't had them taken out because they make your body sick.
Yep. Yeah.
So
you're inserting multiple foreign objects into your body and yeah.
So I spent most of my consultations and appointments in the plastic surgeon's office, even switching plastic surgeons because I didn't like the first guy. Basically, I don't want to do implants. So we've got to find fat on my body to make breasts.
Yeah.
And, by the time we get fat from the various places, because I take care of myself.
I was going to say, you don't have enough fat on you, Lindsey.
The final surgeon was like, we're basically going to cut apart your whole body. Like, you're gonna, and it's going to be multiple surgeries because you've got to recover from each one. And yeah.
It would have been a process.
No. So it was either implants and basically trade one problem for the likelihood of there being another one with breast implant illness.
Yeah.
Having autoimmune diseases, feeling like shit. Nope.
No.
Looking amazing, but feeling like shit. No.
No, thank you.
No. So it was either that or cut my body apart trying to find fat and tissue to move around. And no, not that either.
That doesn't sound good either.
So
no, none of those options sounded good.
So cryoablation, by the time she got back from Costa Rica, I had my imaging in her office so she could look it over. And she, you're a candidate for cryoablation.
Cool. So
I just, basically scheduled surgery. It was on April 14th.
Okay.
So just over a month ago.
I was going to say, you just had it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just over a month ago, I flew down to Arizona with my other best friend, Jamie, who lives in Seattle, and flew down on Sunday, the 13th. Monday morning, we were in the office and I was completely awake the whole time. They numbed my breast. They stuck the probe in. There were 2 different spots that they got. And within 3 minutes, like it was really cool of the first freeze. They're like, it's
Literally.
dead. It's dead.
That's so
and I'm just
cool.
like, yeah, dead.
So that's what they do. They go in there, they inject it with nitrogen,
liquid nitrogen.
freeze it.
Yep.
And then
they thawed, and they kept like squirting warm water over my breasts too, so that it didn't affect like my skin tissue, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, freeze, thaw, freeze. And then they did another little spot. So, freeze, thaw, freeze again.
Yeah.
And I walked out of there, like I drove us because I was the one on the rental. So like,
That's
cool. As opposed to double mastectomy, I would have been wheeled out in a wheelchair probably.
Right. Yeah. And
have someone like drugged up, to have someone take me home, to lay me in bed. I would have had drains.
Oh yeah.
And like 6 weeks just to start trying to build myself back up before another
surgery that knocks you back down.
Yeah. So
you'd be out for 6 months.
Mm-hmm, all the damage just to your body, your whole body.
Yeah.
Doing stuff like that. So yeah, I drove us out of there. We went grocery shopping because we flew in the night before. And then 2 hours later, we were out by the pool. And I had an ice pack under my bikini top.
Yeah.
But we were just around a bunch
different
of
kinds of implants.
Old retired people. Well, and my breast looked amazing because it was swollen.
It looked great.
Yeah. I was like, gosh, maybe the swelling won't go down. That would be great. Then I'll just do the other one.
I was going to say, you got to get the other side.
Yeah. I would take the swelling.
Yeah. Why not?
I'll keep it. Is there a way? Is there a way we can keep that?
Oh, that's too funny.
So, yeah.
So I'm curious, because it freezes, thaws, freezes, and then because it's killed those cells, your body just ends up getting rid of it?
Yeah. So
that's cool.
So it obviously it sets up an inflammatory response.
Right. Yep. Blood flow.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I was sore. The most I took though, which I said I don't really take ibuprofen or Tylenol. I took Tylenol for pain.
Yeah.
Twice that day. I could have taken it in the middle of the night that night because I was pretty tender, but I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm going to put an ice pack on it and go to sleep. So, and I did. So I took Tylenol. That's it. Otherwise, I would have been on painkillers.
Oh yeah.
Gabapentin or whatever
and antibiotics and you had been on all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. And I just took
little
Tylenol.
And you drove.
And I drove.
And you're by the pool.
And we're by the pool. And an ice pack is hanging out of my bikini top. And yeah. And and then we go out to dinner that night and have drinks. And,
I was going to say, and celebrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one knows. No one, it was great.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. And it's criminal that not one doctor is like, there's this other thing that you could consider. Like they should give you all your options.
Right.
Whether or not.
All the things that you can do.
Yeah.
And even if they still poo-poo them and say, I wouldn't do this because of this, I would expect that from them, but give me my freaking options.
Yeah. Right. And that's one reason I respected Dr. Bartels is, yes, I did bring it up to him. And he was like, if you were my wife, I would want you to do the double mastectomy. But I would support you if you didn't.
Yeah.
And so, he was willing and is like for my imaging going forward, he'll order the ultrasound and we're going to send it down to Dr. Barclay. She's going to look over it with him for the next however long to just, because she's going to be able to read it. Because so there's like a lump there now.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can feel it. But supposedly, Dr. Barclay, who's been doing this since 2016, and I think only 1 or 2 out of all the women she's done this on had a defect to their breast. So, but barely, like a little divot. But she thinks I won't have that.
Eventually
most people don't. Yeah. So your body just absorbs the dead tissue over time and then replaces it with healthy tissue.
Amazing.
Isn't it? Like that's what
exactly what the body does.
Yes. Yes.
You just helped it along.
And I had an amazing vacation in Arizona.
I was
with
going to got
my
some sun.
bestie and
Yeah.
it was amazing.
So
Sun.
have you had another scan?
No,
No.
I'll have one in a couple months.
Cool.
They wanted 3 months out. I need to schedule it.
Yeah.
I'm going to demand that radiologist not be there that day.
Yeah.
Because I don't
Although
know.
it might be kind of nice to shove it in her
Yeah,
face.
I know. There are people in my life that are like, no, you should request her.
Yeah.
So that you can be like, guess what, bitch?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
find
see.
out.
I mean, I'm trying to reduce my stress, not pick fights.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And, another thing with all of this is like, love my friends and the people around me, and most of them did great. But I always hated it when people were like, you got this, it's time to fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a time to fight. It's a time to heal.
Oh, yeah.
It's a time to de-stress.
Yeah.
I didn't need to gear up for a fight. I fought the doctors.
Yeah.
They like the things I got them to admit to me, because I went in with my information and my education, like tamoxifen, I was like, whenever they brought it up to me, I'm like, why would I take tamoxifen? It's a known carcinogen and it increases my chance of uterine cancer. And they're like, you're right. Why are you talking to me about it?
Right. Why is this
seriously.
even on the table?
And we're thinking of most of the population that's sitting in these doctors' offices, like being told, this is what you need to do. You need to, and then I had my lab work done on the biopsy sample, and it came back like before I went for the cryoablation. Dr. Bartels was like, I've never seen better numbers. Like, you have a less than 5% chance of having a reoccurrence or breast cancer again. You would not respond to chemotherapy or tamoxifen. So it's like, yet I had this radiologist shoving this all down my throat.
Right.
And think of like the person who's not educated, who hasn't done their alternative research. They would have gone home that day and scheduled chemotherapy. They would have scheduled all their surgeries, take out their ovaries.
Yep.
And then been on nothing but medications and sickness the rest of their life.
Yep.
And the hospital system or medical system would have been making lots of money
for the rest of their very shortened lives.
Yeah. And they're shit quality.
That's
lives.
terrible.
It is. Yeah. So
you were already healthy and had a healthy lifestyle beforehand.
Yeah.
Added in probably some supplementation that you'll continue going forward. Plus
changed how I bought my food, like organic, clean, Bobby approved app, all the things.
Yep. Adding fasting. What else in the physical realm have you done that'll change going forward, or stay changed going forward?
Stay changed, definitely what I put in my body.
Yeah.
And also like with that, so listening to the podcast and just all the information that I have come to know, our bodies only need 80% of us doing the right thing.
Oh.
It can, I don't know specifically, but that's what I believe. Our bodies only need 80% of us giving it what it needs.
Right. Well, and you can kind of go crazy trying to hit 100%.
Oh, for sure. I would say I'm probably closer to 90.
Yeah.
Really. But yeah, I still will drink alcohol.
Right.
Sometimes I'll eat foods that aren't great. Like last night at Cedars for my son's 16th birthday, I had hamburger and fries. And I
and those fries were probably in some kind of seed oil.
God. Oh, yes.
Canola or something.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
which doesn't exit your body for 7 years. So here I just started that clock over.
Yay.
Yeah.
Something that started off as lubricant during World War II, we now ingest on a regular basis.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and restaurant food in general, they're not serving you organic, grass-fed, whatever. So like I normally get the salmon there.
Okay.
Well, the salmon is farmed.
I was going to say it's probably farmed salmon.
$36 farmed nibble. And I'm like, I actually have wild caught fresh salmon at my house that I have hookups, so I get it for free.
And it's so good.
So good. And it's wild caught. So I'm like,
Right.
I'm not going to spend $36 on a farmed sliver of salmon.
Right.
I'm just going to get the burger. I mean, it's not even going to be that much different
Right.
in terms of health. So whatever.
There it is.
Yeah. So restaurants, I mean, bless their hearts, but
Right. Well, and it's so hard to find because every once in a while, you'll come across a restaurant that is like farm to table. We source all of our ingredients, but trying to find that, I mean, that's 1 out of 500, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Whatever the number is.
Yeah.
Versus, I take it you aren't going Red Robin though.
No, I don't. Nope.
Not to besmirch
I go
Red Robin.
I mean, we love Red Robin. I like their bottomless fries.
Yeah, they are good.
And I would just
But they're so
really
not good
load up
for
on
you.
seed oil.
Yeah.
No, I don't like Red Robin. I mean,
No.
it's just not my thing.
No. But life is going to happen.
Yeah,
and so trying
I
to
go
hit
out to
100%
restaurants.
all the time is,
Yeah.
But you've dialed in all those things on the physical side. You already had working out. What about, and that can help from the physical stressors.
Yeah.
What have you done on the mental and the spiritual side?
Well, spiritually, I know that God gave me the strength and the drive, like, I guess just the determination to get through. I mean, there were times where I would like laugh and I always hated it when people were like, how are you feeling? Fuck off.
I was going to say.
Probably better than you with this in my body. Like, hate that question. How are you feeling? Like, oh, because I have breast
Well, I was going to say,
cancer?
and did you
I don't
notice
feel it.
that
No.
people treated you differently?
Some.
Yeah.
Some. So didn't like that question, but I felt so strong.
Yeah.
Through most of it. Yes, there was an underlying fear and sometimes it would get to me.
Yeah.
But I know that was God just like pushing me down the path that I pursued.
Yeah.
Fighting off the doctors, like canceling the surgery the 2 times, like the last one really kind of in the 11th hour. I mean, I actually felt bad for a moment about canceling it so close because they probably didn't fill that spot on Tuesday to do surgery on someone else.
Right.
So they probably lost out on about $100,000. And
oh no,
I actually felt bad about like, God, they're not going to make their money now.
Isn't that so
stupid.
silly?
Yeah.
I probably would have the same thing going through my head though.
Yeah. But not bad enough that I stuck it.
Yeah.
I'll
still ruin my health so that they can make the money.
Right. And chop off my breast now.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of just through most of it. Once I decided my course, and once I had the right people in my life to support me, friends and my trainer and just all of my information that I was gathering, I knew I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to be okay and would laugh in the face of any.
And that's exactly what you did.
I did. Yeah.
It is. It's like, it's so kick-ass. Yeah.
Thanks.
Because I've had that pop into my head because I definitely my son, well, maybe not. I think I was already starting to come around to, okay, if I get cancer, which I mean, at some point, right? Like for guys, I think your chance of getting prostate cancer goes up something like 1% a year after age 30 or 40.
Yeah.
Like you're basically guaranteed to have prostate cancer as a guy.
Yeah.
But okay, again, we're fish out of water constantly. So at some point, something's going to get me and like destroy and uncreate that because it's not. I'm going to be healthy forever.
Yeah.
What would I do?
Yeah.
I know all this stuff, but when really faced with it, how am I going to respond?
Yeah. And you don't know until you're in it.
And you don't know until you're in it.
Yeah.
And you found out that you will fight like hell to keep yourself whole and healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will.
That's really cool. How did your boys handle it? Because I know they had that initial shock.
Yeah, initially. But they just saw me handling it in the way that I do.
Yeah.
And they became very confident. And I think their fear just completely went away. Like
Yeah.
they just knew, yeah, my mom's going to kill this. And,
That's amazing. Well, and
yeah.
what an example to set for them.
Yeah. Fight back, just
Yeah.
persevere, do what you think is right. Like forget about what everyone's telling you or, the opposition. Like
Yeah.
when it comes down to your body, you have to do what's right for you.
Right.
And I mean, I told doctors, like, by the way, if I decide to do nothing and just up and die from this, that's my choice.
Yeah.
Like, so back down because that's my choice. They're like, you're right. I'm like, yeah. So stop talking to me.
Did anybody try and call you to talk you back into the surgery after your second cancellation?
No, as a matter
Really?
of fact, like, so where Nikki and I are now is kind of, I don't know. So I had the ultrasound, shrunk the tumor. She was flying back from Nashville and texted me. It was like, how were your appointments last week? Been thinking about you. So I texted her back. I told her, shrunk my tumor. And at this point, I'm pursuing cryoablation. And, the doctors in Spokane have so much to learn.
I like that you added
LOL.
that last little bit. Here's what I'm doing. And by the way, they know nothing.
By the way, they're idiots. Anyway, so she responded back, but it was really, she didn't acknowledge me in what I had said about, what she was asking. And I answered her question. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, anyway. And then I haven't heard from her since.
She ghosted you again.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we've ghosted each other. I don't know. Like, but we were invited to her son's graduation party in June. And so I plan on going, like, because Owen and Luke are still friends. And, I definitely, I understand. Like, I can understand that she is a nurse for Dr. Miller.
Yep.
And she believes, based on her experience and her perspective, what she believes.
Yep.
And so I respect that.
Of course. So
I get why she was like she was opposed to me trying the other things. And I get that it was hard for her. Like, 'cause she really did. And I'm sure she does care for me. Like, she didn't want anything to happen to me. Because in her view, in order to prevent that, I needed to do the double mastectomy. Like, let's just remove your breast tissue. She's like, I won't even touch your ovaries. Just let me take your breast tissue. And I was like, well, we'll see. So, I should reach out to her. I don't know. I haven't been able to bring myself to, though. Like, I could just text her and be like, hey, I had the cryoablation, but also she doesn't know, like, other than just probably knowing what it is, she's not educated in it.
Right.
So is she still going to support? Is she going to be able to support me? What should happen is, regardless of who the person is, like whether they're a nurse or a doctor or a friend, like, you should just say, I'm really happy that you found what you felt comfortable with in, fixing the problem.
Right.
And, you're happy and healthy. And I hope that continues to be the case. And I'm really happy that that's the path that you felt comfortable with. Like, that's what should be said to me.
Yep.
Not complete silence, not anything else.
Right. Well, and it is funny how we get our personas so wrapped up in those things. Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, that's the career that she chose. That is the industry that she supports. And they have helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
That probably otherwise would be dead because, again, right, are they taking the other steps that are going to keep themselves healthy?
Right.
So she absolutely can justify in her head, I help people and this is a good thing.
Yeah.
That's not a wrong statement.
Right.
To think that it's the only path is wrong.
Right.
And that's why I do this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because so many people, everybody has different unique experiences. And we come to the conclusions that we do because they've been reinforced.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been reinforced for her.
Mm-hmm.
So like, Yeah.
Yeah.
I also come down on the line of like anything that becomes dogmatic is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have an explanation for consciousness,
Right.
let alone which religion is right, let alone which scientific thing is correct, right? Like the thing that we are most sure about is probably going to end up changing at some point because we'll discover something else that goes,
Right.
oh, well, that only worked because this is the thing. But now we know that there's this underlying mechanism.
Yeah.
And then there's something underneath that. And then
Mhm.
there's so like to be 100% no, this is the course. It's the course for you. And it's been reinforced for you. And that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like just have an open mind.
Yeah. And it's not your body.
And
Or
it's
it's
not
not
your
your
body.
choice. Like,
Right.
what would you do? You don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like the book that I read. She was a breast surgeon and then she was faced with her own diagnosis of whatever
Right.
and faced with the most extreme treatments that she wasn't willing to do. She couldn't be told. So it changed her perspective. And now she's like a crusader for
Yeah.
the alternative treatments. And, you know, it's amazing. Like when you're actually in the shoes, your perspective is unlike any other,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, because then it is literally life or death, right?
Mhm.
Then it actually matters. It's
Mhm.
really easy to sit on the sidelines and make decisions for other people.
It's totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What an adventure.
Mhm. Yeah. So now I don't have breast cancer. I have my body intact.
Yeah.
Had an amazing vacation with my friend. She put me the day after my procedure. She put me on 4 dating apps.
All right. Now we're going to go find somebody.
Yeah. So I basically went from like full-time job, you know, in addition to being mom and business owner, full-time job of health
Yeah.
to full-time job of
Fine.
dating,
Yeah.
which I have found somebody.
I was going to say,
who's
how is
amazing.
the dating world?
Well, basically, so I come back from Arizona and I end up starting to date like it was a week and a half after I got back, started
Nice.
dating.
Yeah.
And I just,
You weren't doing that if you did the surgery route.
nope.
Nope.
I would have been in bed. Like,
Yeah.
and then by the time 6 weeks rolled around, I would have been fat and frumpy and I would have been like, yeah, I'm
Not going dating.
No.
Nope.
Nope. I'm not going to look like my pictures. So, you know.
Yep.
Anyway.
How old are these photos?
Yeah.
Check, please.
Can I get some fries? Please. Since I'm fat anyway, I mean, might as well.
Might as well. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. So
a week and a half later, you're going on dates.
week and a half later, yeah, I'm starting to date.
Yeah.
And like basically dating my ass off for like a few days. Like seriously, there were days I had 2 different dates.
Oh,
and like
yeah.
just constant. And then and then a week later, I met this guy.
Yeah.
And we went on 2 dates in 1 day. He was the first one that I wanted to see again.
Nice.
All the others, I was like, meh.
Eh.
I mean, I was kind of like with a couple of them, they had, you know, expressed they wanted to see me again and, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, okay, well, maybe because I'd never been on dating apps before. So I meet people organically.
Right.
And just like strike up conversation or whatever. So
is this feeling awkward doing it through the
feeling,
apps?
yeah, I didn't love it. And it was also
because everybody's so fake anyways.
Well, or just like, God, what are you thinking? Like, I would never be interested in you.
No. You? No.
Yeah. Never.
Oh, gosh.
I know. It sounds so like my head.
You have standards?
I do.
You got to maintain that. We aren't lowering those for this schlub.
Never lower your standards.
No.
Ever. So, they
can't all be 6'2", $180, making 7 figures.
No, they can't all be attractive, doing well in life, taking care of themselves, kicking ass and taking it.
Yeah. No. But having that standard isn't terrible either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so this guy.
Well, okay, so I telling else, I don't know. But
I'm sorry, I derailed us.
Well, no, this guy, yeah, no, he's amazing. So I had been telling myself because I was doing the apps
Yeah.
that, okay, well, maybe meeting someone on apps is different than in person, like organically, because maybe it takes a few dates to see if there's, because whenever I've met someone organically, I don't know, you can just pick up on people's vibes.
Yeah.
Like it'll probably determine whether or not you even talk to them.
Totally.
Whereas from an app, you're meeting someone you've never seen. You have no idea what their vibes really are. You meet them, you try to make it through dinner without, being just like you.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I have to make this work for another 45 minutes. Can I just dip
there
now?
were some that, nice guys. I don't have anyone that I really complain about. I did get offered $2,000 for one night.
Hey.
On the app.
I would have taken that $2,000.
Oh my God.
One night? I don't know.
I think
I've always joked.
Maybe like 20 to 30,000.
Depends on if they look like a troll or not.
Maybe. He was a doctor in Spokane. So I never met him. Okay.
Doctor in Spokane?
Doctor in Spokane, supposedly. You never really know.
Yeah, you could be making that up.
And he messaged me asking, what do you think about a sugar daddy situation? And I was like, well, you'd have to define what that means.
Yep.
Because I kind of had one in my 20s, but he actually was my boyfriend, but whatever. It wasn't really like that. He just had a lot of money. Anyway, whatever. And I was in my 20s, like broke as a joke.
Yeah. Again, taking advantage of that. Why not?
Like, nice life. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So he defined it basically as, well, I would want to go out to dinners every month. And then from there, if it goes well, travel and, shopping, things, so basically like, a total sugar daddy.
Yeah.
And
some stuff on the back end, I would presume.
Oh, there'd be a trade.
Yeah. There's a trade there.
There's a big trade.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and he said, and then for this, I would provide an allowance. And so
that doesn't sound like a bad setup.
There's always plan C.
I've always joked with my wife that if there was there's a couple movies about this. I feel like Demi Moore's in one of them, where if like some older lady, some older guy saw one of us and was like, listen, I ain't going to live that much longer. They're like, hun, we are getting a divorce. We're going to do this for a couple of years. And then when that person croaks, you bring in all the money. We live a good life.
Yeah.
I'll go be some old lady's sugar baby for a while. That ain't no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. it could work.
It could work.
It could work.
Yeah. But you decline this.
Yeah. I just, at this point, I'm just screwing around with him. Like the allowance. I'm like, I just said, that doesn't sound good. Allowance. You're going to have to define that.
Yeah.
And he basically just was like, I will pay you a monthly stipend and you get these things. And then we when we're not apart, we're not clinging, we live our own lives.
Right.
Or when we're not together.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, are you interested? I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like I would know. And I said, I'd rather stick needles in my eyes.
Is that what you told him?
I'd rather stick needles in my eyes than consider anything like this.
One, it's kind of flattering.
Yeah.
But two, like how many other girls is this guy paying in with that same offer?
Right.
And there's a couple that are like, I'll do that situation all day.
That deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that
I
also seems
thousands a month.
Oh yeah.
Thousands probably.
Yeah. But then
never had to spend it because I would have had everything else paid for.
Right.
So.
Well, and that's one of those to me where like, why do relationships are funny. And the way that we do relationships is really funny.
Yeah.
Like if I'm vibing with somebody and I dig them, like, okay, but I've chosen a partner that I want to do life with.
Right.
I want to raise children with. We could go separate ways, but I really enjoy like waking up and seeing this person. I love their attitude. I love all these things. Yeah. Situation like that, It's shallow.
Oh yeah, I mean,
There's no depth there. You aren't showing it. You aren't introducing the boys to him.
No,
Right? Like,
good God,
no.
no,
Like
no.
fancy dinners and some money on the side sound real good.
Yeah,
But is
the
that
trade-off.
is that the trade-off?
No. I mean, definitely not what I want.
No.
No, I want someone to do life with.
Yeah.
For sure, and
Yeah.
real life, like
Right.
the ups and the downs. And
Yeah.
like,
The beautiful and the ugly.
yeah, that's what I want. Like
Yeah.
I've done a lot of the ugly on my own, like getting through the breast cancer, like
Yeah.
without anybody in that role, was one of the harder parts
Yeah.
for me because I felt alone. Like even though I have amazing friends and I knew God was with me, but
Yeah.
it would have been nice.
It would have been nice.
But also, like, so I have found a great guy.
Cool.
Now I look back and I'm like, God was just preparing me
Always
and
is.
preparing him,
Yeah.
whatever we had both gone through in our lives up to this point.
Yep. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, because would you have written the script the way that it's played out? No.
No.
But
and I mean,
now that you know it, would you change any of it?
No.
No.
No. I mean, I wouldn't change that I had breast cancer. Like, even when I still had breast cancer, I was like, this is a blessing. Like, I truly felt like it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Even though there was always the sense of fear, like that I'm screwing around with the universe and I'm like, is this really God like pushing me, or is this just me being like, because I can be pretty strong in my convictions and maybe ignore God.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I've
like
done that a time or two.
Yeah. So, anyway, great guy.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you introduced him to the boys?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Well, my youngest.
Yeah. Okay,
only.
cool.
So it would be hard to be in my life because I have my boys 87% of the time. And I know that's like really specific, but
that is really specific.
It's just the ex has them mainly every other weekend.
Okay.
So it's hard to be in my life. And
because you have responsibility. You run in your business and you are full-time mom. Yeah.
Full-time mom, full-time business. Well, I mean, I'm not in my busy season, so don't feel sorry for me. I have a lot of time off.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up meeting my youngest.
Cool.
It was perfect. Like my youngest was doing wheelies with his friend out back. And so he was watching him do his wheelies, and he has 3 kids. So he knows how to engage with, he knows the craziness, but he also knows how to engage and like ask the right questions. And, just, he's got great chemistry with me, but also like vibes with my youngest. He hasn't met my oldest yet. That's another, bless my oldest heart. He's on a really bad path.
Is he?
Yeah. So I think his path, and I'm not saying this to say he gave me breast cancer or he's the reason,
right?
But the amount of stress that I was under for the last few years.
He was a contributing factor.
Yeah. His actions and the amount of stress that I feel like I've spent the last 3 years, even though my son is still here and living, grieving the loss of him.
Oh.
Yeah. Because his son has taken such a path.
Do you want to dive into that a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm the oldest of 4 boys.
Okay.
And then we had 3 boys. I was like, okay, this girl thing just isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Then we got our little girl, and I'm like, oh yeah, these things are magical. This is great. Because boys are turds.
Yeah.
Boys are turds. They are little shits. That is exactly what they are.
Yeah.
My mom said that with me, aliens took my brain right around 12, 13 and didn't give it back until 18. I became a different person. I can still remember multiple times where I made my mom cry. I was a jerk. Teenage boys can be, especially when because was he your little buddy when he was little?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And now you're like, who
he
the fuck is this kid?
Yeah, he wanted to marry me and he was my buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why is he a turd? What the heck happened?
Well, I mean, after the divorce and
how long ago was that?
7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, went from having both of us, dad was a firefighter, so he had lots of time off,
Yep.
to the parenting plan being arranged. And there are reasons for the parenting plan being arranged the way that it is, where I have them most of the time, which I don't think I want to get into, but it's okay. Like, cause I just don't want to I don't want to be placing blame on my ex, but basically like my son went from having us both in his life
Yep.
to barely seeing his dad, like not enough, just
Right.
not enough. And dad didn't wake up to the fact that that was a major problem. And basically it came across as a rejection and abandonment to my both my boys, but especially my oldest, because he had the most years with both of us.
Right. He's sitting at
you
what,
know.
9 years old at that point?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
And your other one would have been 4?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And we started having the
Youngest.
marital issues when my youngest was 2. So, yeah, or at least that's when they bubbled to the surface.
Right.
But so, my oldest was hurt. I mean, I watched him get off the phone with his dad after asking for more time, and multiple times, he'd been turned down, and it was devastating. He'd just run into my room and cry like, dad doesn't want us. And his dad didn't wake up to the fact that he needed to focus more on them.
Yeah.
And, in all of that, like, I was drowning. Like,
Yeah.
have the most of the time, I'm a business owner, drowning, angry myself because, like, what the fuck? I divorced you and I got left holding the bag.
Yeah.
Thanks. Like,
Right.
never a night you have to put them to bed to get up for school the next morning. Never a morning you have to get them to school. Never a lunch you have to pack. Never, like, every other weekend basically is not that much responsibility.
Is nothing. No.
You know?
And my kids drive me nuts every night with bed. It's the same time. We 7:45, start getting ready. 8:00 in your room reading. 8:30, lights off. Does that ever get followed?
Yeah, no.
And that's my wife and I both trying to wrangle the children.
Yeah.
Now you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah. Total shit show. So spread thin, feeling like, I mean, if he wanted to go on a trip with his now wife, which I really like her.
Well, that's good.
He basically had 2 weeks to play with. Like, if I ever wanted to go on a trip, I had 48 hours.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And
probably good
where
luck
am I going to go?
getting him to help.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't ask.
Can you take
for
the kids for an
years.
extra?
I didn't ask for years.
Yeah.
I've since, I mean, it's one of the things that getting breast cancer did. Like I said, like,
Yeah.
I need fucking help here.
Yeah. Good.
And if we don't come together and do this more together,
Right.
I'm not going to be here, and you're going to do it all on your own.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way it's going to go, because I'm not able to keep this up.
Right. So
anymore.
definitely more blessings coming out of
Mhm.
breast cancer than not.
Yeah. And his wife was totally supportive.
Good.
And gets it. Like, and she has the mom heart, like, so yeah, it was just, so with that, my oldest, I think once the teenage hormones started coming in,
Yeah.
he just reached a point where he stopped trying to get his dad to see what he wanted him to see.
Oh.
And then he just started becoming really angry. And I think that in his mind, he determined that, well, I know how to make my dad have me more. I'm going to make living in my mom's house such a burning hell. So he did for basically 2 years. He was just like this terrorist, the way he would talk to me. Just brutal to be around for 2 solid years. And finally, I just was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. You need to get out. Like, dad wasn't going to take him. And I'm like, you need to, like, we need a vent. We need a vent to this situation. So he did. And then I was accused of abandoning my son,
Ugh.
like, and hurting his self-esteem and whatnot, because what kind of mother would kick their son out? But then it was only a couple of months, and they experienced what it's like to be around for my son and his anger and actions and lack of respect and not respecting rules and boundaries and just all of it. And they were like, my ex was like, I don't know how you did it. Like,
yeah, good
for
question.
2 years
Me neither.
at this point under this circumstance. But,
Yeah.
so, even though I had to endure the bullshit of being, like, well, what kind of mom would their son out or whatever?
A good one. That's
Yeah.
who.
I
When
mean,
you're at your limit.
I have
that's
said,
who.
like, what kind of mom would I be if I continue to allow him, like, to treat me like I am a piece of trash
Right.
under my roof?
Yeah.
No. What kind of mom? What message would I be sending him?
That he gets to walk all over whoever he wants.
Yeah. So no.
No.
Like, you can think, I know it hurt him, but also, like, I have standards for myself. I have standards for him. I have standards. I mean, my youngest, like, it was affecting him.
Well, yeah, because he's watching what his brother gets to get away with.
I had to protect him. I had to protect my own peace.
Yeah.
And this was before I knew I had breast cancer. So, so he's been at his dad's and it's been brutal over there. Brutal at this point.
For everybody involved.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because dad can't be having a good time. Your oldest can't be having a good time.
No one's having a good time.
No.
Doors are busted. Dad's angry. Dad has a hard time of following through on consequences.
Oh, yeah.
He has a hard time.
Yeah. Well, because then you have to be responsible to track it.
Right.
Which isn't always easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, with all of that, it's basically created a teenager that I love dearly, but he is a master manipulator and doesn't have to follow the rules because there really is no consequence that's stuck to.
Yeah.
And just kind of a loose cannon.
Well, and he just turned 16 yesterday.
Yep.
When's he going to get his license?
Well, I'm holding that over his head.
Yeah, good.
Like, he actually drives illegally all the time. He's a great driver.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so like another choice. He's a great driver. I'm like, we could just make it legal, but failing out of school and like, that's a theme.
Yeah. Is he smart?
Oh, brilliant.
Which is probably part of what's getting in his way.
Super mechanical. Yeah. And he's so smart that he knows what bullshit school is. And I'm like, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Our medical system's a mess. Our schooling system is a mess.
Yeah.
It's all a mess.
Yeah. And actually, I mean, he has a lot of similarities to me.
Strong-willed.
Channel it. Yes. Yeah. Just need to channel it.
Smart.
Direct it.
Yeah.
But when I had the breast cancer, I received a letter from Gonzaga Prep because I went there for high school.
Right.
And I thought they were just asking for donation, private schools, they do that. Anyway, so I almost threw it away. I opened it and it was like a handwritten note, like on paper. I'm like, that looks like my writing. That's weird. So I open it. Thankfully, I didn't throw it away. So it was this letter I wrote myself when I was 17 years old. It was supposed to be given to me at my 10-year reunion. And, but I didn't go. So anyway, the alumni person found this letter and mailed it to me.
That's amazing.
It is. And part of the letter is like how much I hate school. I would rather I have so much more I could do with my time. I hate authority.
Oldest takes after mother. Okay, got it.
So that's my oldest to a T.
Did you show him the letter?
I did. I called him that night and I read it to him. And it was a little emotional because in the beginning of the letter, I talked about like, I'm going to have a nice big house. I'm going to be driving a black car, which I pretty close to a black car now.
Yeah.
Have a nice, probably hot husband and
working on that.
Yep. He's hot for sure. So hot husband and 2 kids, boy first. So when I read that to him, and my voice kind of cracked, and I just was like, "You're him.
Yeah.
Like you're the him." So I did read him the letter because there was a lot that, because I mean, one of the things that he would be just so shitty about was like, "Mom, you just think you're perfect." Like, and I'm like, "No, I don't."
Yeah.
But I think he felt like even though he's super strong-willed, I think he felt inferior to me, which resulted in him being kind of abusive and like trying to put me down. So, I just think it was good to read him this letter because there was so much we could connect on. And I was like, how you think you have told me I think I'm perfect and that like my life like is perfect and has been. And I didn't have trouble when I was a teenager. I mean, I talked a lot about, I got fired from my first job. I didn't even remember that. And it's in the letter. I'm like, I just got
That's so funny.
Fired from my first job because I took too much time off in the summertime.
Oh.
And I'm like, who's that sound like, Owen? Like, you're about to get fired because you won't work because $12 an hour isn't enough for you. I mean, gosh, I feel like my first job, it was at a pet shop in Post Falls. That's not there anymore. And I think I was probably getting paid, I don't know, $4 to $5 an hour cleaning up dog shit. That the puppies would jump on my face in the morning and they'd get their paws and poop. That was my first job.
Yeah.
So
what's Owen doing?
He has a job at Embers.
Embers. Why do I know that?
Embers Pizza.
Oh. Even if he's washing some dishes, like that's easy.
Well, and I know the owners and they treat him well, but he's only worked a few shifts, and I got him the job at like the beginning of the school year, or I helped him get it. He got it, but anyway, I might have
pushed that helped it along.
Helped a little.
Skid. What's the grease the skids?
Yeah. So, but no, he won't work it because it's not enough money, and you can make more money in Washington. Well, you're not getting a job in Washington, though, are you?
No.
So he's selling shady shit online, and
oh man. Well, and that's one of those where like, okay, so he's got a lot going for him.
He does.
But
he has so much potential.
Sounds like he thinks he's a little bit like his shit don't stink.
He thinks he's the shit.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
Oldest is about to be 14.
Okay.
And I'm seeing some stuff there because he won't push back on me very much. I lay down the law and he goes with it.
Yeah.
Disrespecting his mother, talking to her, all the like and I'm glad I'm here because I don't let him get away with that shit.
That's good.
But
yeah,
if my wife was by himself, all the stuff that you just said with Owen, my oldest would be doing the same thing with my wife.
Yeah.
And then I've got 10, 8, and almost 4.
Okay. Well, yeah, they need a strong father figure.
Well,
period. The house needs a strong father figure.
Right. Well, and you were having to wear both hats.
Trying to be both.
Yeah.
And and I was successul at it until Owen, like literally his physical stature became bigger than mine.
I was going to say, is he taller than you?
He's taller than me.
Yeah.
He weighs more than me. I mean, our last physical confrontation, I was bruised head to toe.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I tried to keep him from taking his scooter, and I was like literally on top of his scooter in the garage, laying on my garage floor, like, you're not taking this. You're going to have to take me with it.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Lindsey.
I mean, it's been ugly, but yeah, he thinks he's the shit.
He's
like,
gonna have
that's
to...
why I asked how old yours is, because they have this whole other language. Like he's like, yeah, I'm him. I'm him. Did yours said that? I'm him.
No, and I'd probably laugh at him if he said it.
Yeah.
And he's 6 foot. He passed my wife. Who's 5'10".
Yeah.
And so we've got all these different rules in place, and of course they push every single one of those boundaries.
Oh gosh.
Every time.
Yep.
But he was doing something and she went to go get his phone and he wouldn't give it up. So they got into a physical thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are so lucky I wasn't at home, because I would have.
Yeah.
But you can't, right?
No.
Because he's physically bigger than you are.
Yeah. So that has stopped, but yeah.
Hopefully, because you're the oldest of two girls.
No, I'm the
No.
youngest of.
Oh,
So I have, my sister, she's like 20 months older than
Oh,
I am.
okay,
So
yeah.
not that big of an age
but no
difference.
brothers.
No brothers.
Yeah.
So
See
yeah,
that?
no, two girls. My parents had it easy.
Oh
Like
no.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, yeah. You said earlier you didn't smoke. You didn't do
I
anything.
didn't smoke.
No,
I
you were.
didn't. No, I
You
didn't
were.
do
You
anything
were
wrong.
good.
I hated school and authority and homework and
All the stuff.
all of it.
Yeah.
But there was no option of failure in my house. So
Oh.
I still got A's and B's and did my homework without my parents asking.
Yeah.
Went to Gonzaga Prep. There was 4 hours of homework a night.
Oh yeah.
Then from there, it was like college. The biggest fight I had with my parents it was my mom, actually. I was like, God, I don't want to go to college. Like, I'm so done with school. I hated school all this time.
Yeah.
You
Let's
guys
do
put me in
more.
private school. It was hard. I got everything I need. I'm good. And my mom was, she was fighting me on it. And she's like, well, if you don't go to college, you live here, you're going to have to start paying rent. And I was like, ooh, no, I don't know how I'm going to do that.
I guess you're
So,
going to college.
okay, then you can pay for my expenses at college. And,
Yeah.
I mean, totally in hindsight, I appreciate my parents for that,
Yeah.
like private education. I would still say I learned the most at Gonzaga Prep though over college.
Where did you go to college?
Pacific Lutheran University.
Oh, that's right. You
in
went over to
Tacoma, yeah.
Seattle. Yeah.
So I
Or
went there
Tacoma,
my
yeah.
freshman year, and then I had a boyfriend that I left at home when I went to Tacoma. Like, he was my elementary school sweetheart. I literally chased him down, like hunted him down.
You
Before
do
I went
not
to
get to say
college.
no.
Well, he didn't want to, but I didn't know where he was because I hadn't seen him since 6th grade.
Oh.
So I hunted him down the summer before I left for college.
Yeah.
We fell wildly in love. So I ended up leaving for college with this boyfriend.
Just you find him and then you leave him.
Yep.
Jeez, poor guy.
I know. So, but by the time sophomore year rolled around, I was like not wanting to go back to PLU and leave him again.
Right.
I mean, it just been kind of up and down, and
long distance is hard.
Yeah, and I mean, I was also young, so I had other interests at college, and I just wasn't sure if I wanted to be with him or whatever. But then I came back for the summer, and I didn't want to leave, so I went to Gonzaga University sophomore year.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it was hard moving back home because Gonzaga University, I lived at home. I didn't live on campus.
Right.
Whereas PLU, I was totally on campus. It was hard coming back home after being gone for a year. Rules applied that I had, and so it was just hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
No, because you were free.
Yeah,
and
I was
now
free.
you're back under
Now
mom and dad's roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I just literally had friends call me up from PLU at the end of my sophomore year, and they're like, come back to PLU.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I went back there for my last 2 years and graduated, and then.
It's a beautiful campus too.
Yeah.
The area surrounding it is kind of questionable.
Totally ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the campus
one
itself
of the
is
most
beautiful.
Dangerous areas in Tacoma. Spanaway, Parkland.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Shootings.
It's kind of, it's ghetto.
Yeah.
One of my favorite coffee shops is a block away from PLU.
What one?
It was some
It's on the
hippie
main
spot.
street.
Yeah, I can't
the
remember
corner
what
spot.
Yeah.
I know what one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember
Wish
the
I
name
could
of it
remember the
either.
name, but
yeah, they actually have some good restaurants around PLU.
they do.
and
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a cute area. Has it changed much?
No, the rest of it is ghetto.
Still ghetto.
Yeah, super ghetto.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
And then just ended up staying in the Seattle area I lived all over the Seattle area.
Oh, you did?
Landed in Issaquah.
Yeah.
In the Issaquah Highlands at the end for the last quite a few years.
So you were there, what, mid 2000s to mid 2010s?
1998, with the exception of Gonzaga University.
Yep.
To 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's, because I went to Mount Si, which is in Snoqualmie.
Okay.
Lived in all of that area. I lived in Kirkland, in Falls City, in Duval, in our first house was Maple Valley.
Oh,
and then Bonnie Lake. And yeah, I've lived all over there.
Yeah.
But Issaquah was funny because the Issaquah Highlands was nothing. And then all of a sudden it was something. And like trying to drive through, I mean, traffic over there is madness.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, my favorite teriyaki spot is in that Freddy's at the bottom of the hill off of Highlands.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Teriyaki Bistro.
Uh-huh.
They had really good garlic sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do miss Issaquah.
Yeah. I mean, when I moved up to the Highlands when it was new. Like it wasn't even, we were looking for the condo that I ended up buying and you couldn't even GPS it. I mean, that could have been when
they built all those houses up there and then they had their own, there was a movie theater up there.
Yeah. Movie theater, restaurant, full on shopping.
Yeah.
The grocery store, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Gas station, all of it.
Yeah.
Up there. Like the only reason I went down off the hill was to go to Costco, Trader Joe's, or the gym.
Yeah.
Or, hang out with friends.
Shoot,
Gilman.
there's a PCC down there.
PCC, yeah.
PCC.
Gilman. And Front Street.
Oh, yeah.
Great restaurants.
Yeah. Front Street does have some good stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody that's listening is like, what the heck are these guys talking about? The West Side used to be amazing.
Used to be.
And now there's way too many people. Yeah. I get angry when I go over there.
Me too.
Like, because you have to drive differently, aggressively and defensively all at the same time. It's miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't go back much. I mean, I have one of my best friends is over there, but she, like, I don't know. We tend to get together. Well, they have a condo over here, so they come over here, but we tend to get together not in Seattle. I don't know. I don't love it.
No. Well, in Seattle itself.
Yeah.
It's just nasty.
Horrible.
It's bad. I'll go to a Mariners game, Seahawks game, do something like that. Soto, but
such a shit show to get down into there.
Yeah, it's awful.
With the games though. Like you have to Uber unless you want to.
I like coming.
The parking is so expensive.
Yeah. Stupid expensive.
It's stupid expensive.
Yeah. And then the whole thing's just a mess. So then you would have had the boys while you were over there.
Like, well, we didn't get divorced till we actually moved over here.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
no,
but
like
you met your
birth.
first husband over there.
Yeah.
Gave birth over there. Were you living in the Highlands when you had them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So question on that, because we've been talking about it and I'm always fascinated because our 4 birth stories are amazing. And speaking of the craziness of the medical industry, did you do standard hospital births or?
I did in Seattle at Swedish.
At Swedish. Yeah.
First
Okay.
Hill.
Yeah.
Really liked my doctor.
Yeah.
All female staff because I was like, I don't know. I just feel like men don't have business down there.
No.
Sorry. And I would birth it by myself. If a man walked in. So I made sure it was all female staff, like whoever was on call.
Yeah.
So yeah, by my second, the hospital in the Issaquah Highlands had been built and it's way nice, but I still stuck with my doctor in downtown Seattle. So both of them, I had to drive down.
I was going to say that's a heck of a drive.
I mean, my husband at the time drove me, but
yeah.
And he was a firefighter. I mean, he could have delivered my baby, to be honest with you, but
right.
Yeah, I wanted the epidural.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I did.
You were not going to, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I mean, I'm not having any more children, but I don't know that I wouldn't have an epidural now, even after everything I've been through.
Really?
Because I just think I would die with that immense pain.
Oh, yeah.
No,
you're out.
I'm out.
See, and this is why I love this.
I a lot, but no.
Because if you were going to advise a young pregnant mother, you would say, do the flipping epidural.
Yeah.
Why not?
I would, I'd just say, unless you have something you want to try to prove to yourself, but no.
Yeah.
I would not do birth control, which I did after my first.
Yeah.
I got the IUD, like the Mirena, so the one that releases hormone.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, knowing nothing, I had a lot of headaches. So the doctor decided maybe you have menstrual migraines. So I was also on the pill.
Oh, yeah. So you're just getting bombarded by all these weird hormones messing with you.
Yeah. So actually, could have contributed to having breast cancer.
Could have.
So
Again,
at
there's
this
so
point,
many
it's
different
like, I don't have any of
variables.
that.
Who
Yeah.
knows? But yeah, going without birth control. Yeah, that's good. Well,
Yeah.
and again, and another spot where our education system does not do us any favors, like women know when their cycles are,
Mhm.
right? And especially if you're healthy and everything else, right? Like you can track all that stuff.
Yeah.
My wife I don't think my wife's been on birth control for forever and a half.
Yeah.
And how do you not get pregnant? Here's your window.
Yep.
Don't do fun things in that window and you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's so much that I would have changed about
Yeah.
like that stuff, but luckily I'm fine. And
Yeah.
you know,
Well, and hindsight's a hell of a drug. That's for one of those.
Mhm.
That's like Owen, right? He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't make it very far in life,
Exactly.
especially if you want certain things. If
Yeah.
you want the big house, the black car, the handsome husband, all those things, Owen wants a big car or a big house.
Yeah.
Nice wife, all those other things. He's going to have to get his shit together.
Yeah. Someone he respects and respects him.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. I'm hopeful. I mean, it's been a process of, like I said, grieving
Yeah.
and hoping he's still in there. I mean, I know he is.
He
but
is.
It's
He's just got
like,
teenage brain. The aliens came and took it.
this is where I get mad at
They'll
God.
give it back.
Yeah. This is where I get mad.
What, that this is the design?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Although it's going to make it way easier for you to want, because when he was little, did you ever want him to leave the house?
No.
No, you wanted your little baby boy forever.
Yeah.
Now you like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I'm like,
it's the natural division of you no longer want to be in your parents' house. And guess what? They don't want you there either.
yeah,
So,
yeah. No, it's to the point where you've got 2 years to get your shit together.
Yep.
Because you're not living under my roof without.
And it doesn't
paying
sound like
rent.
dad's going to take him.
I think his days are numbered.
Yeah.
So, you know, same thing my parents told me, only I wasn't destructing
right.
everyone and everything around me.
Yeah.
I just was like, I don't want to go to college. I've already gone to school.
I've already done the hard stuff.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what I want to do, but I don't want to go to college. And, you know, same thing my parents told me, where it's like, well, I guess it's time to be a big girl then.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to pay rent. And I'm like, what? That's shocking. But they were right.
Do I have to?
They were right.
Yeah.
And they also made us pay for our car insurance
Mm-hmm.
and our gas. And we had to have money, like when the car needed new tires or, you know, whatever maintenance, we had to have money to pay for those things.
Yes.
There were a few times, like, because, you know, school, or there were a few times my parents would help out. Like if we didn't have all the money for the maintenance or whatever, that they would pitch in. But it was never like, oh, sure, I got that. Like, nope.
No, like, and that balancing act as a parent of how do I instill responsibility and critical thinking and, you know, resourcefulness, you can't do it all for them.
No.
Otherwise, none of that stuff gets instilled in the kids.
And it's easier to do it for them. I mean,
it's
like
so much easier.
But no. I refuse. So that's where I'm at with my son and driving. It's like, you need to have consistent income. So that job you have, you should work it.
Yeah.
And because you're going to pay for your car insurance, which is going to be more expensive because you're failing out.
Because you're a boy and failing out. Oh, geez. His insurance is going to be stupid expensive.
Double whammy.
Yeah.
And like $300 a month.
And
I've talked to him about this because mine's like $150.
Oh.
And I'm like, Owen, you're going to end up paying probably
so
double
much.
what I pay.
Yeah.
And that's if you don't have infractions, which if you get those, I'll just sell your car.
Yeah.
Like,
especially if he's, that's one of those where I wish Mike was still on the force. Like you gotta pull him over. You gotta give him a ticket for driving without a license. And like, let's push him over the cliff. Let's see what happens. He's going to have to learn real fast.
Yeah. So I don't know. He's just not ready. I'm like, we just need to trust you. And everything you're doing is not building trust.
No.
You think you've got it figured out, but you don't. and it's causing nothing but problems for us and stress. And, I mean, yeah, his dad's wife, so Owen's stepmom, she's very much on my page in terms of parenting and discipline and whatnot. And she's trying hard to get through to Mark, their dad. Yeah. So
we'll see.
I'm thankful for her.
That's
very
good.
Thankful.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because that could be the exact opposite. And then it's even good luck with all this.
And it wasn't always that way. I didn't know who, I learned to trust her, and we've gotten to know each other well enough. And she was one of my biggest supporters having breast cancer, and
I love that.
Cared. She got the message. We need to give her a little break.
Yeah.
So
good.
Anyway.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be pulling for Owen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to hear. I usually hear from guys that I meet. I was a shit too.
Yeah. Let's get that out of the way. It's always true.
It does give me hope. I'm always okay, good.
Yeah.
Because you've turned out, you've turned out great.
Turned out okay.
And most of the people that I meet, I'm okay, there's hope.
There's hope.
He's gonna be an awesome man someday.
Yeah.
I hope. And
yeah, he is. But sometimes there's some of us that just got to touch the stove over and over and over before we learn our lessons. And there's some that just do the right thing right out of the gate. And the biggest threat that comes along is, hey, you might have to pay rent.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Well, or he touches the stove and then is I don't have a problem. You do. Everyone else has a problem. I'm
yeah.
That mentality really makes me mad.
It'll get worked out. Ugh. Well, and I've said this before, and everybody's heard this on the podcast, but the first 7 years of our life, we're in a theta state, meaning you're a blank computer. Mm-hmm. Everything's just getting downloaded onto it.
Yeah.
And your brain is literally operating on less hertz.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to 6 hertz per second or something. But then you bump up to the next, let's see, there's theta, there's gamma, there's, I don't know if it's alpha brainwave, beta, it's one of the Greek alphabet things. Anyways, but all of a sudden you have cognition and you are making your choices. And so we're having a big fight right now because of my 10-year-old. He was supposed to go walk the dog the other day. My wife leaves, says, hey, I'm going to be gone 2 hours. While I'm gone, walk the dog. Comes home. Hey, did you walk the dog? Oh yeah, I walked the dog. The 8-year-old tattletales. He didn't walk the dog. I had the dog the entire time. 10-year-old doubles down.
Ooh.
Oh no, I walked him down to that corner, and then I turned at that house, and he's got this whole thorough story.
Wow.
Ready to go. 8-year-old, no, I had the dog the entire time. He's lying. And my wife pushed enough that finally the 10-year-old relented. Okay, fine. I didn't actually walk the dog. But back to the conversation that you're having with Owen of the whole, we want to be able to trust you.
Yeah.
But you have to take actions that show that we can trust you.
Right. Yeah.
And so now that he's out of the theta state and he's into him making his own decisions, he's not making good decisions. So they'll figure it. It's all, this whole life thing. There's a lot of learning that goes along in it. Well, okay. And we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about a lot of things. But one of the themes that I wanted to kind of tease out, and maybe this will give us a little bit more from youth, is you do have a very strong will. You're a fighter.
Huh?
And that there's a lot of people that shrink in the face of what you've dealt with. Where did you develop that? Is that how you've always been?
I mean, yeah. Well, okay. I was the easy one of the family.
Ah, yes.
I was the one who would just not have an opinion, or if I did, not voice it.
Okay.
The easy one to get along with.
Yep.
When it came to chores, my sister would slack. I'd pick up the slack. She was bossy. She would, she would be overbearing. Sometimes abuse me, kick me, whatever. So
dang sister.
I took it until junior year in college. So we were home for Christmas. So, cause I'm back at PLU. so home for Christmas.
Yeah.
And my grandparents would always come from Montana. And so one of us would have to give up our rooms.
Okay.
It was usually me giving up my room, like, because, you know, it was easygoing.
Right.
And I'd sleep on her floor. So this time, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I just put my foot down. I don't remember. But anyway, we were in my room. And we had twin beds. So I had a twin bed in there, which I was sleeping on. And my sister was camped out on my floor. And like, I'm in bed. And she runs in, gets in her bed on the floor and is like, you turn out the light. I was like, it's like, Heather, you just walked by
it.
I've been in bed. Like, no, you weren't. No, you weren't. Like, I was the first one in the room. Just like, literally like gaslighting.
101, gaslighting 101 right there.
Gaslighting 101.
Perfect example.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I would not get out of bed and turn out the light. I mean, this was just, I'm drawing
You
a
drew that line.
I
There's
have
your
had
boundary.
enough of this. So I am laying there. I'm getting really mad because she is not getting up and turning out the light. We're not sleeping with the light on.
Right.
So I'm just laying there getting more and more mad. And so I'm like, deciding what I'm going to do because I am not turning out the light.
My mask would have been really nice.
So I decide, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my fucking mattress and leave the room. I'm going to go take my mattress because I was like, I'm not going to just leave the room. She'll take my bed.
Right. Can't give her everything she wants. I'm taking this.
I'm taking my bed with me.
That's so good.
So I get up and I start taking my twin-sized mattress off the box spring, and I'm starting to just haul it out of the room. She's just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm taking my bed and I'm going to sleep somewhere where the lights are. And she tried to stop me.
Oh.
So, and at this point, by the way, we're both by the light switch. I have
right
my mattress. Like, the whole thing could end.
Yeah.
If she would just be like, if she just flipped the switch and be like, I'm sorry.
Yep.
You know? But no,
but nobody
we're
wants
both by the light switch. I'm not turning off the motherfucking light and she's not either. And I've got my mattress. So all hell,
so good.
All hell just breaks loose. Like I don't even remember what she said, but I basically just scratched her face off.
Oh.
Like she had to go back to college with I remember it was a number 7 on her cheek and I just that was the moment I turned. Where I was like,
that's when you went from
peacekeeping,
people pleasing, probably, to fuck that. I am standing up for myself.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Done. That was the moment I turned.
And so you didn't flip off the actual switch,
nope.
but that switch flipped.
That switch flipped. And my dad comes out of his room in his whitey tighties and I had never.
This mental image is just so good.
Yeah. And I don't think I'd ever heard my dad say the F word. He'd say shit, but he wasn't a big swearer, at least not around us, which I respect. I haven't carried on that tradition so well, but
well, it sounds like Owen might deserve it every once in a while.
Yeah, plenty of F-bombs. But yeah, my dad comes out of his bedroom. What the fuck is going on in his whitey tighties? And of course, neither one of us were old enough. Dad,
nobody needed to see that. Yeah, throw on some PJs. What's up?
I think my grandma or grandpa also in his whitey tighties down at the end of the hall.
What's going on? Just hanging out in whitey tighties.
I don't even know. So I did take my mattress downstairs and sleep downstairs in the living room.
Yeah,
and I don't know what my sister
I was going to say, did she stay in your room, sleep on the floor? But she probably actually turned off the light.
Yeah, she probably, she had no one to make miserable. So she turned off the light, probably slept on the floor. And then it was years later, I would say in the last 15 years. So a lot of years go by before she finally admits to me the truth about that night. And of course, at this point, we're laughing about it.
Of
and
course.
I'm just like, I can't believe that you have denied all these years. Like,
she was standing by her story.
oh yeah, or would say nothing, and it didn't get brought up a bunch, but that was a pivotal moment.
That was good for you
me.
guys.
So
yeah.
And also like I always say my dad raised well. I'm more like my dad.
Okay.
My mom's more, or my sister's more like my mom.
Yeah.
My dad's a go-getter. He just, not that my mom isn't, but I think lifestyle. My dad's active, even though he still eats the food pyramid, whatever, but he's active.
He's at least active.
My mom is not active.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
So I'm definitely more like my dad.
Yeah.
And he raised us, like, before we could even drive, he made us read a manual on how to change the flat. He made us change a tire, so we knew how to do it. He made sure we knew how to change our own oil, even though he was going to still do that for us.
Yeah.
He basically, there was this meme a while back. It was like something about, thanks for raising your daughters like a man or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
He basically raised us to be super independent.
Good.
Or they did.
Yeah.
To be super independent and fierce.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, where I get it.
That's so good. Well, and then, okay, so that comes from dad, mostly, it sounds like. What'd you get from mom?
Mom and I are kind of struggling right now. Love her, but she's not so self-aware. Like, she's not respecting boundaries of, like, I don't think either one of my parents have figured out how to be parents of a capable, competent, successful adult children.
Okay.
Like, in a way, they treat me like as if I'm Owen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Lectures.
Have they had to do that because of your sister? And so that carries over to you?
No, they tried with her. She in her 20s was able to put up boundaries that they respected.
Oh.
And since my whole adult life, I've tried to put up boundaries that they will respect.
Yeah.
I think part of it is they're very disappointed in Owen, and I think they judge me.
Oh.
Because their experience of parenting was, well, we just told you what to do and you would do it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I'm sorry. I was such a good kid.
Yeah. My sister and I really gave them no trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, the most was my sister and I would get in fights occasionally.
As siblings do.
As not compared to my two boys, who I can't tell the difference between their playing and fighting sometimes. And I'm like, are you guys going to kill each other or somebody's going to die? Like, and my sister and I would get in little squabbles, most of which I would relent. So I would make it easier for the family. And my mom would get super angry. I mean, I remember she'd yell at us, send us to our rooms, yell until she was coughing. And now I'm looking at how my experience as a mom.
Yeah.
And so I do think that there's some unintentional or maybe subconscious judgment.
Yeah.
And a complete lack of understanding.
Yeah.
And that I struggle with, because it's like, I have tried I'm powerless.
Right. Well, and you're raising kids in a completely different reality than what your parents were raising you in.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're in there. I would assume that they're probably boomers, because they're 60?
Yeah.
Something?
7. Well, my
Almost
dad
pushing
is
70?
my dad's going to be 80 in a few days.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom is
They grew up in a
72.
completely different world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And raised 2 girls in a completely different world. And in a household, which I'm not, I mean, I made the decision to get divorced and, whatever, but with 2 parents that were on the same page.
Right.
I have a divided household with me being on one page and Mark being in a completely different book.
Yeah.
Really.
Right.
And so that has made for this situation. And anyway, my mom, I'm struggling with my relationship with her. Like, I love her, but she's not very self-aware. And
Yeah.
like right after I found out I had breast cancer, I was acknowledging to her that I know why I have it. It's the stress in my life and I have to address it. And, I'm going to get through this or whatever. And she, she's like, okay, well, I have something to say and you can take it or leave it. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. And what's funny, talk about themes, the letter that I wrote myself when I was 17 talks about mom and her lecturing. So my parents will still lecture.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been lecturers and they're still lecturing. And it's like, I have breast cancer. So somehow that's my fault. So basically she was blaming me for having breast cancer. Like that's how it came across.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and,
Mom.
It was not a fun fight. And in the end, I ended up like, I asked her several times, I'm like, you need to stop. Like, this is, first of all, I'm acknowledging like, and not to blame myself, but just like, I understand the factors in my life that may have led to this. And I'm going to change it.
Right.
Like I have to.
Yeah.
And the
it's
people
taking
around
ownership and doing what you can do.
Yeah. And the people around me need to change certain things. And by the way, toxic relationships are going to go by the fucking wayside.
Yes.
Because they're so draining and this is toxic.
Yes.
So yeah. So it was what I said to her in the end was, you know how you feel about your mom is how I feel about you.
Oh.
And it went completely off the rails from there. And she thinks I said it. Well, first of all, she doesn't see it at all. And that is that she's over opinionated. She's lecturing. She's judgmental. Speaks when she shouldn't, just all the things. And I mean it. Like to this day, I would still say that to her. And she's really done nothing but prove it since. Like just dropping off my son's gift yesterday. It was Colleen, Mark's wife, that told me, yeah, your dad left something for you. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then my parents were headed through my neck of the woods after dropping off Owen's gift. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting why they wouldn't just stop by my house and bring it by.
Right.
And she said, oh, well, your mom made some comment about, well, we're not really part of the family these days. I'm like, oh, such bullshit. Like, but yeah, she's not, she's had all this time to reflect and is not at all self-aware of what actually took place, what was actually said, and why I might have said that.
Right.
So I don't even want to deal with it. Like, it's one of the things that I learned in going through breast cancer is all toxic relationships are cut.
Yeah.
And until you can be not toxic, like I know she's my mom. Yep. I love her.
Yep.
But I can't have that in my life. Like someone who's not emotionally mature and intelligent and self-aware.
Right.
I can't.
Well, and I always have in my head, because I've always had a really hard time separating out respect your elders, but also they don't know everything.
Right.
Right. Which plays into the medical stuff, right? Titles, age, all those things. It used to be really hard for me to not go, okay, you have more time on this planet. You got the titles. You know what you're talking about. No, we're all just big kids in adult skin. And yeah, we have our families. You're born into a family. That's how it works.
Yep.
And it's nice when you get along with those people. But really, in the end, you get to pick who's in your life. And those titles end up going away.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, okay, yeah, you do have more time on this planet than me. You did raise me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you get to dictate. That doesn't mean that you get the final say. That doesn't mean, it means that we get to respect each other and have adult conversations.
Yeah. Well, and there's so much about like my parents. They're good people, and I do love them. I respect, I think what I respect most about them is raising us as children.
Yeah.
They did it. I think they did the right things. They made the right choices. They were a pretty good team on that front. But there's so much about them that, this can sound mean, but that I wouldn't want to be.
Right.
Like, I would not want their relationship.
Yeah.
Like, they love each other. I don't know. I would not want their relationship. I would not want to have my day amount to watching paint dry. You know?
Yep.
I'm super active.
Right.
And I don't know. And yeah, I mean, they're older.
Right.
You know, but I don't know.
I've got this whole idea that like the boomer generation and anything older, they really only lived like 3 or 4 lives in one.
Mm-hmm.
Where I feel like I'm at like 20 or 25 lives already.
Gosh, yeah.
Because there's just so much change. There's so much going on. I like action. I like being active.
Yeah.
I like what's the next thing that God's going to bring into my life?
Uh-huh.
What's the next? Like, we were not here 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
We thought we were in our forever home. I had a job I liked. Yep.
Yeah.
Our friends were, one of like Rachel's best friend had just moved back to town. She was 5 minutes away. We have kids the same, right? All the things. Then my boss comes to me. Hey, I'm moving to Coeur d'Alene, switching banks. You want to come with me? I need you to come with me. Sure. Next adventure. And it's totally changed our lives.
Yeah.
And there could be something a year, 6 months from now, 6 years from now. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine sitting like my grandma, who's, how old is my grandma? 82? Just a tick over older than your dad. She lives on Hershey's dark chocolate, Lay's potato chips, and TV.
Wow.
That's what she does.
Wow.
Sits there and watches paint dry. All at practice, right? Like same idea.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I ever? And
yeah,
I love my grandparents.
Yeah.
I really miss my grandpa.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade anything to have their sort of relationship. Like there was just like, you guys like dig each other? How are you two still together?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. No, I mean, well, then things were so different.
Yeah, right.
Like it was like you got, yeah, they met each other and had chemistry. But as soon as that faded, like it would fade.
Right.
And then there was no focus on the relationship.
Right. They're just like roommates the rest of their lives.
And then it's like, okay, well, these are our duties. This is our purpose. And I don't know, like, yeah, I want to, and I will, like, so I've proven to myself I can be alone. Like I can get through hell or high water alone.
Yep. Because you are strong.
Yeah.
And you've got you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got me, I've got God, and got great friends.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be alone.
Right.
And I want to have a relationship that is super healthy and thriving, and that there, you know, the chemistry may change and things may change.
It's life.
But that you're always looking for ways to reach the next level of your relationship and like find connection. And I mean, at the foundation of any great relationship is mutual respect, period. Like that's it.
And communication.
Well, communication is definitely, I would say next.
Coming next.
Next. Yep. But if you don't respect each other,
the rest of it doesn't matter.
Right. You can't have good communication.
Nope.
So you have to respect each other. And that's, you know, that's something that I have had to learn. Like I would always choose partners that I didn't respect. Like that I would take on projects. And I see your potential. I can help you here, help you there. Yeah. And like, you want to get from point A to point B. Well, here's how you do it. And then, waste all my time, because if they didn't have their shit together when I met them, they're not going to have their shit together. And then I'm the nag, and no. So
Yeah,
I learned that.
Well, not only mutual respect, but self-respect.
Yes.
Because if you have self-respect, you're continuing to work on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have mutual respect, you're working on improving the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're leveling yourself up, this person's leveling themselves up. You're both leveling up together.
Yeah.
You vibe. And unless
yeah.
the only thing that I have a fear of there is that somebody's going to want to grow into something completely different than, right, that Rachel and I have had that conversation. I want us both growing.
Yeah.
And we aren't always going to be on the same page
Right.
in that process. Just don't go totally off into left field.
Right.
That's the only fear. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I wouldn't want to suppress anything.
Yeah.
And it's actually better if you end up going and figuring you out. And anyways.
Yeah, no.
I'm rabbit holing.
I think if you start out with mutual respect.
Yeah.
And also your own independence is very important.
Very.
You still have your friends. She has her friends.
Yep.
You know, you support each other in spending time with, as independent people, not just a married person or
otherwise
a mom
you become
or a dad.
codependent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you define yourself by the other person.
Yep.
It can get real nasty real fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think all those factors, and then, people change, but like you said, as long as it's not completely on a different path.
Right.
But, I feel like if our parents and grandparents that wasn't a thing.
No.
To have a connected relationship ever.
Right. Well, yeah, I think the understanding of the husband-wife dynamic was different.
Mm-hmm.
Culture was certainly different.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I remember my grandpa married my grandma and she had been divorced, and you didn't get divorced back then.
No.
So my great grandpa would go, when they would come over, would go into the basement and ignore them. Wanted nothing to do with her.
Oh.
Where now, if you're in a bad situation, you get out of that and go find something better.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just a lot of societal norms have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the way that we do it now. And then you look at your parents, my grandparents, and my parents got divorced. Yeah, it's just, there's too much life to be had.
Mm-hmm.
Go find the right person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it sounds like you found, at least so far, he's panning out pretty well.
I mean, we both feel like we're an answer to our prayers.
Yeah.
That each other is. And yeah, he's a great guy. He checks all the boxes.
Good.
And he's what I prayed for.
Yeah.
So
can we touch on that really quick? I know I'm pushing our time here. Yeah. What does your faith look like? How did you grow up and where are you at now?
So I grew up Lutheran.
Okay.
But then spent years in Catholic school.
Oh, right. Yeah. Gonzaga prep.
And then Lutheran and Catholic college, PLU and Gonzaga University. After that, I mean, I consider myself more non-denominational Christian.
Yeah.
I was confirmed. I mean, technically I'm Lutheran, but I can tell you going from Lutheran services to Catholic services, Lutheran services are like going to a funeral. Got the organ music and it's
solemn.
So boring.
Yeah.
And then Catholic was more upbeat, so I actually didn't
Which is
mind.
saying something.
Yeah, saying something. So I actually didn't mind mass. At least we stood up, sit down, kneel.
Yeah, there's some movement.
All the things.
Yeah.
There's a little movement. And then, of course, through all that, private school, religion and courses and studying the Bible, shoved down my throat. But I mean, like I did the rest of school. I was like, I'm just going to memorize it to pass the test and then out the door.
Yep.
Moving on. Don't need that. So afterwards, I've tried attending several churches, even over here. I mean, in Issaquah. I took my boys to church for, at a certain time, we tried raising them in the church. But just, I don't know, going through divorce, I did start going to church after divorce, but I don't know, I don't go to church. I could I don't know. I find it hard to feel anything at church. Like, I feel like you don't need church. I mean, yes, it's better to surround yourself with people that are on the same path, but I don't feel like for me, I need that. It's
Right.
like when my, just as an example, my dad, it's like when I had the breast cancer and it was early on, it was the day my mom lost her marbles on me. My dad was like, you should join a support group. I was like, you mean like a cancer patient, like support group? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, Dad, oh, hi, I'm Lindsay. I have cancer. Fuck off. I'm never doing that. Like, first of all, I have people in my life. I have support. I have people who've walked my path, so no, I don't feel like I need to be in church or in a
Right.
support group with a bunch of randoms. I have people in my life.
Right.
I pick and choose who's in my life. And I don't feel like I need to be at church. Like, I pray. I know that the breast cancer journey, God was with me. I know I have a relationship with him. I am by no means a model Christian. There are times where I'm like, I got it. I don't think as much about God or, feel or seek him.
Yeah.
But I know he's there, and
Well, and
gives
that's
me
what
grace.
matters. You have a relationship with your creator.
Yeah. So that's where my faith is now, is like definitely not perfect. I mean, no one is, obviously, but I'm by no means a model of Christian. And
What does that even mean, though?
yeah, I mean, and there are people who really believe that they are model Christian.
Oh, yeah.
And
Which
I think
almost
that's
by
kind
default
of a red
makes
flag.
them non-model
Yeah,
Christians.
it's kind of a red flag.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like, I don't know. So that's where I stand.
I love it.
Yeah.
Is there anything about Lindsey that we missed talking about that explains more of why you are the main character in your story?
Really think of anything.
Well, if something pops up, we'll have to circle back on another episode.
Yeah.
But my last question, I ask everybody.
Okay.
If I gave you a megaphone that could reach everybody on the planet, what would your message to them be?
Oh. Make it your bitch.
I love that. That's so good.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Make whatever it is your bitch.
Just make it your bitch.
Make this day your bitch. Make, your problem your bitch.
Yeah. Go out and
Make
conquer.
it your bitch.
That's so good. That might be my favorite one so far. Oh, that's great.
I mean, I try to go through life that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm the bitch, but then I'm like, no, I'm not.
No. Oh, that's so good. Oh, well, on that note, Lindsay, thank you for coming.
Yeah. It was
This
nice.
was a blast.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Ciao. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Main Character Podcast. If you dig the content, please click that follow button. And if you found today's guest inspiring, please share this episode with someone you think will benefit from it. If you'd like to be a guest on Main Character Podcast, reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, where I'd also appreciate a follow. All links can be found at my website, coachwithbrandon.com.